Welcome to Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. I'm Rob Wilson.
And I am Tony the Quano.
So, Tony, let's talk about some Oscar movies.
Let's do it.
Specifically, let's talk about a movie that stars the Best Actress in a Leading Role.
I think that's a good place to start.
And that Best Actress in a Leading Role won that award in the 2006 Oscars for the 2005 movies. And that actress is Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon.
So let's talk about that movie that she won that Oscar for. Now, I'm trying to remember what movie was that she won for.
Legally Blonde 2?
Wait. You're talking about Legally Blonde 2, Red, White, and Blonde?
Yes.
No. Unfortunately, she did not win for that.
Oh.
She should have won for that. But, yeah. Although, strangely enough, that is the only Legally Blonde movie that I've seen. And I saw it in the theater. My sister may have been the one that dragged me to it. But
I'm unaware of that.
Yes. My sister and Jesse Bukovich.
I can see. That I believe.
But anyway, so no, we are not talking about Legally Blonde 2, Red, White, and Blonde. We're talking about her 2005 movie.
She stars opposite Joaquin Phoenix,
Yes.
who's also nominated but did not win for Best Actor.
Yep, which he should have won Best Actor for this because he was incredible in it. But the movie that we're going to be talking about today is the 2005 biopic, which we haven't really done any biopics.
Yeah,
Really. I mean, we kind of have in the past.
Both
but
Rudy and Miracle were along those lines.
But not like a straight up biopic. I mean, Rudy more so than Miracle.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, Rudy was pretty much a straight up biopic.
I would probably put Rudy into that category.
Yeah. But anyway, let's talk about Walk the Line, the biopic about Johnny Cash.
And, and by extension, really also like June Carter.
Yes. About
Because
June Carter
Reese
also.
Witherspoon plays in this movie. So June Carter Cash, if you want to be more exact. She mostly plays June Carter in this movie.
It's not till like the end of it where she's June Carter Cash. But
yes.
The vast majority of the movie, she's June Carter.
But the movie itself largely takes its form from focusing really as Johnny as the main part. But June, Reese's character June is a major
part of this movie.
She is rightfully she's rightfully put into the lead category.
Yes. Because I mean, once she's introduced in the movie, she's in the movie.
Yes.
She's there. Like,
as opposed
everything
to a musical biopic the year before this, Ray, with Jamie Foxx, right? Where just Jamie Foxx is the star.
Yeah.
But this, you have both, Phoenix and Witherspoon really sharing the screen for most of the movie. Right? Like you're saying, like the first, quarter of the movie is mostly him, and then once she comes in, it's largely both.
Yeah, once she comes in, it's pretty much split between the two of them. A little bit more on Phoenix's side, just because, I mean, it's a movie mostly about Johnny Cash, and he's playing Johnny Cash. But Reese Witherspoon, it doesn't shy away from June Carter's importance in the Johnny Cash story.
Her role is so pivotal in this, and her performance is pivotal because she just really brings a warmth that is very much needed into the movie.
Yes, absolutely.
And then just this, this backbone, steadiness.
Yeah.
And she's great in it. And
she is. She does it. She's phenomenal in this role.
We kind of were joking about Legally Blonde 2, and I think she kind of had a run of largely kind of fluffy kind of mainstream movies there, because the two Legally Blondes, and Sweet Home Alabama, movies where she's fine in because she's a good actress. Yeah. But this was probably her most her most serious role
Yeah.
in several years. When she first broke the scene, when she was doing more independent movies like Election,
Hmm.
Pleasantville, right? She was well regarded in those
Pleasantville was a good
movies.
one. I really
Yes,
enjoyed Pleasantville.
it is a good one. It's been a while since I've seen that movie also.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, she was well regarded in those, and then she kind of became more mainstream. And this is a mainstream movie, but it was a more serious movie in what she had done over the previous 5 years or so. But yeah, I mean, she received a lot of acclaim, and she won a lot of the major awards and precursors for this movie, and then she won the Oscar. And the funny thing about it, right? Because like they had the Golden Globes also, right? And I always think the Golden Globes, they have best drama category and then comedy or musical category, right?
Hmm.
And whenever there's a musical biopic, even if it's a super serious musical biopic,
Yeah.
they still put it in the
They
musical
put it in
category.
they put it in the comedy or musical.
And which is what they did here at the Walk the Line. And this
Hmm.
is really a drama.
Which I never understood why they grouped together comedy and musical.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't, maybe it's just a kind of goes back to the day where there were a lot more like movie musicals,
Hmm. And where they always throw
and they just
humor into
never dropped it.
musicals, but yeah, but I mean, yeah, there are certain musicals that are also comedies, but comedy and musical shouldn't be the same category.
Exactly.
You have your exceptions, but they shouldn't be clustered together like that.
Like think about a musical like Les Mis or The Phantom of the Opera. Those are some serious,
Yeah.
heavy musicals,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna put them in with best comedy.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so
you're gonna put Les Mis in with Tommy Boy.
hey, I could see I could have seen Chris Farley acting in Les Mis.
I could too. I could too. I'm not knocking Chris Farley here. Chris Farley is brilliant. He was brilliant as a comedic actor and just as an actor in general.
Can you hear the people singing the song of angry men?
Yeah.
I'm not singing that in the mode of Chris Farley.
No,
Anyway,
but I mean, I love me some Chris Farley. We're going to be doing some Chris Farley movies, by the way.
we should be doing some Chris
We
Farley.
will be doing some Chris Farley movies.
Um, back to the point though. It's like, yeah, it's not an appropriate like comparison. And like this is it's a biopic about a musician, and there is a lot of music in this movie, but it's not even much in the form of a musical,
No,
right? You have stuff where they're
they
like
don't just randomly
performing
break into songs
Yeah, anytime they're performing it, it's like they're performing songs on stage at
in
like,
front of a
concert
crowd. Yeah.
or in a recording studio.
Yeah.
Right?
They don't just break out into song in the middle of the street and just have all these extras that just happen to be expert dancers.
Because like, and so like, let's take a look at that year when she was at her 2006 Golden Globes. Yeah, so she's going up against. Oh, maybe did they put it? Let's see here. Maybe they did put it in drama. No, musical comedy. Yes. Yeah, she was up against Dame Judi Dench, Mrs. Henderson Presents,
Hmm.
Keira Knightley, Pride and Prejudice, Laura Linney, The Squid and the Whale, and Sarah Jessica Parker, The Family Stone.
Wait a second. They Pride and Prejudice
Yeah, no,
was
that shouldn't
in
be comedy.
comedy or
No,
musical?
Yeah, no, that also should be a drama, by the way.
Yeah.
As
Okay.
opposed to like that year, Best Actor, Joaquin Phoenix won Best Actor for a comedy musical at the Golden Globes. He was going up against Pierce Brosnan in The Matador, Jeff Daniels in The Squid and the Whale, Johnny Depp in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Nathan Lane and the Producers. Okay, The Producers is a comedy musical.
Yeah. Yes.
That
It
is
is
an
a
example
comedy
of a
musical.
musical that is also
Yes.
a straight up comedy.
Yes. That fits the category perfectly. But
anyway, so yeah, it's a strange pairing because, and again, like she is the most optimistic part of this movie, but it's not like there's a lot of jokes in this movie. I mean, it's a serious movie.
It's definitely not a comedy.
I mean, it takes its beats from a lot of other musical biopics where there's like rough upbringing, some early tragedy, drug addiction, divorce, right,
and then happiness.
So, not things,
or at least maybe not happiness, but contentment.
Contentment, yes. That doesn't involve uppers.
Yeah.
But
there's one part of the pair that elevates the other part of the pair.
Yes.
That they work to sort of, complement each other.
But it was at the time this came out, like what, a year after Johnny Cash died?
2 years.
Really? 2 years. Okay.
Johnny Cash died
and really
in
about
September,
2 years after June Carter died. They both died relatively close to each other.
June died in May of 2003. Okay. Johnny died in September of 2003.
So,
and this movie came out in 2005.
Yeah, the movie came out in 2005. So probably, that happened probably in the pre-production stages of the movie. Because I would imagine most of the movie was probably filmed in 2004, right? So, and obviously, it's a biopic, and biopics are can be common, it's fertile ground for Oscars, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like we said last week, most biopics are just straight up Oscar bait.
Yes.
Like they are made with the intention of winning Oscars.
This rises above a lot of them.
Yes. Yes, it does.
So we mentioned earlier Ray, which is a fine movie. It's not a bad movie, but it's not as good as Walk the Line. There's just something about the production of this one that just kind of is just a cut above. And some of it is the acting. And I appreciate that both Witherspoon and Phoenix sang themselves in this movie, as opposed to just being recordings of Carter and Cash.
Yes. Yeah, I love the fact that they both sang themselves rather than just lip syncing.
Yes. But, it's the cinematography, just the kind of the sets, even the performances of some of the minor characters or actors in this movie really tie everything in together really nicely, just to make a really, really nice watch.
Yeah.
And there's other actors and actresses in this. We have particularly like Jennifer Goodwin, Robert Patrick, and Dallas Roberts would be like the three that kind of like really kind of help stand out.
Yeah.
To sell the movie.
But then, I mean, you got people like...
I would also say Waylon Payne. I like quite a bit also.
Yes. Playing Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the people they got to play, the other, musical artists at the time...
Yep.
Were great in their roles. Waylon Payne is Jerry Lee Lewis. You got Tyler Hilton as Elvis.
Jonathan Rice is Roy Orbison.
Shooter Jennings playing his father, Waylon Jennings.
Yes. And then again, like he's not a musician, but like Sam Phillips, who's a famous producer, that played by Dallas Roberts. And we get a couple of young actors in there too, in Rich Canopy and Lucas Till.
Yeah, and I mean, also with this movie, you know, Joaquin Phoenix learned to play the guitar for this movie. He didn't know how to play the guitar before he got this role. He learned it. And same with Reese Witherspoon. She learned how to play the auto harp for this movie. So, I mean, that...
I think those are the details that just kind of, again, help just push it up a bit from some of the other... Even though, it contains a lot of, again, similar beats. Because I think, you know, if you're going to have any kind of famous musician or artist that making a biopic about, you know, the ones that have a more complicated background will make for a better movie.
So back to what we were talking about earlier a little bit. So this movie did go into pre-production before Johnny and June died.
Okay.
Because Johnny Cash approved Joaquin Phoenix of playing him.
That's right. I remember reading that.
Because he liked him in Gladiator. And June approved of Reese Witherspoon playing her. So it was before the two of them died that they started production on this movie.
Okay. And I remember that the origins of this started actually getting turned up early in the 90s from a TV show that we had discussed multiple times. Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. Because Johnny Cash guest starred in one of those episodes, right?
He did, didn't he?
And they became friends with Jane Seymour at the time, both, right? And her husband at the time, James Keach.
Of course, played Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Yes. So her husband at the time, James Keach, brother of Stacy Keach, by the way, was directing one of the episodes.
Which we talked about Stacy Keach back in our Batman Mask of the Phantasm episode.
That's what we did. He was a big fan of Johnny Cash, and then Cash became friends with him. And then Cash had talked with him about you know, potentially making a movie based off of his life, right? And so then he did some interviews with him and used those interviews and Cash's autobiographies to start getting the actual movie rolling. But it wasn't until James Mangold, the director, was able to come on that they were really able to start pitching it to a studio. Right? And so even going back before they firmly had a deal in place to make the movie, Johnny Cash and June Carter were both very much involved in the genesis of the movie.
Okay.
So, all because of Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
All because of Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. Wow.
But I think Joaquin Phoenix was a really good choice for Cash because there's a stoicism to him. There's a kind of a quiet intensity that Phoenix just has.
Yeah.
You know, again, you know, this is early-ish. Not, you know, he'd been by the time he played Cash, Phoenix had established himself.
Yes.
Right. A couple of years ago, we did Signs. Right. He was in Signs. He was also the Gladiator. So he was enough of a name at that point. And but he's a good job of just kind of sinking into the role because you can just, again, even though it's Phoenix singing, you can close your eyes and listen to it.
Yeah.
And think, that's Johnny Cash.
Though he doesn't sound exactly like Johnny Cash.
No.
He has that kind of voice that
exactly
you can close your eyes and listen, and it's like you're hearing Johnny Cash singing.
Yep.
And I mean, I love this movie, right? It like I when I was watching it last night for the podcast, you know, it's been almost 20 years since I've seen it all the way through. It's been probably like
same for me.
17, 18 years since I've seen it all the way through. Just sat down and watched it. But I was watching it last night and like I was on the verge of like tears and part of it just because I remembered how much I love this movie.
and it
and
still
how
holds up.
it's like,
Like it again, like it's a biopic of the early 2000s, but it doesn't feel
yeah,
dated or a product of that
yeah.
time. It holds well.
And like Johnny Cash is my favorite. He's hands down my favorite musical artist of all time.
Right. Yes.
And so just watching this movie and, knowing what I know about his life and, all of that, I was watching this movie and like, I couldn't pull my eyes away from the screen,
Yeah.
because a lot of times, watching a movie, I'll pull my phone out,
Yes.
scroll Facebook or something,
very easy to do.
Something like that. But like, I could not look away from the screen. And I'm like, I don't know if all the times that I've seen this movie before, I don't know if I'd really paid as much attention to it as I did last night.
Right.
Even though I've always loved it since the first time I saw it.
Okay.
It's just like the viewing for the podcast just seemed different than all of my past viewings of it. Different in a good way.
I understand what you're saying.
It's like I appreciated it more. Maybe because like the last time I saw it, I was in like my early to mid 20s.
Yeah.
And now I'm older and I've got more life experience now, and I could relate to a little bit more of it than I could then. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see it being, it's like, oh yeah, you're liking the story of this musician that you enjoy the music of.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can kind of get more into the struggles and that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, even though they may not be the same struggles, but you could still relate.
Yeah, I agree. And thankfully, they didn't make him a monkey in this movie.
Yeah.
So that helps also.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's such a good movie. And there's actually really just kind of a lot to kind of think about, because it does kind of present a lot of it through his connection with June Carter. And there's even those just kind of subtle things they do with him and how he connects it back with his brother also.
Mm-hmm.
In his youth.
Yeah.
And there's these aspects in there of this reaching back towards this time of innocence.
Yeah.
That are just, again, I think that would be something that I probably would have kind of missed when you're in your early 20s. And then you're kind of looking at it from a different perspective now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's yeah, he lost to another biopic that you're Truman Capote, Capote with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I mean, Philip Seymour Hoffman is amazing.
Also very good. And guess what? Joaquin Phoenix did eventually win an Oscar. So
yeah.
Unfortunately, we lost Philip Seymour Hoffman at a young age. So we still have Joaquin Phoenix, yeah, it's interesting to see where his career has gone. And
I mean, part of why Joaquin Phoenix took this role is, because, when he was young, he lost his brother.
Yeah.
River Phoenix.
He did.
And so he sort of saw, a connection there with Johnny Cash, who, I mean, it's really not much of a spoiler because it happens like within the first few minutes of the movie.
Yes.
But who lost his brother when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Who he looked up to, who, was his best friend.
Right.
And yeah, so that's part of why he took the role. Because he felt a connection there.
And bringing it back to Reese Witherspoon, it's interesting to see kind of where her career has gone since then,
Mm-hmm.
right? She after this kind of again chose her roles. It's not like she was in a lot of different roles, and She would later get another Oscar nomination for um what Wild.
Yeah, Wild.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, it's not like she's taken on huge movie
No,
roles since
no. I
then.
mean,
But
that's the thing.
she's been in some TV. I mean, she does the morning show, but she's also done a lot of producing. And and she's. I mean, it's funny. Like she's still actually relatively young, but both Phoenix and Witherspoon on the younger side,
Hmm.
and nope, still have a lot of roles in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and she's done like before this. She did a lot of more like comedic movies or less serious movies. And she was great in those. She's always been a solid actress.
Right.
Whatever
Yes.
she's been in, she's always been a solid actress. She's always been someone that could bring people to the theater. But this movie, she went above and beyond. And I think that she really deserved the Oscar that she got for this.
Yeah, I mean, she did a great job of bringing in that charm that she has, but also put in like another layer of depth. And then just, there's so many things you just kind of want to dive into, kind of like her mindset. And you're kind of like guessing how she's responding to these things. And you see this devotion that's there, just waiting to kind of come off. Right. And, we'll get into it because, it's, the whole relationship between the two of them, their chemistry is terrific.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, in this movie, they really embody Johnny and June.
But yeah,
it's, and their relationship, not just the people, but their relationship with each other.
Yes. It is definitely one of a very noteworthy win. Not one that you look back and kind of think about, oh, yeah, maybe that wasn't the best choice for that year.
Yeah, no, this absolutely she deserved this Oscar. Very good one.
It was great back to back as she won, and the next year Helen Mirren won.
Mm-hmm.
And I love me some Helen Mirren.
Oh yeah, Helen Mirren is fantastic.
I mean, she played the Queen. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, but good stuff from both of them, and just good movie. And like James Mangold, briefly mentioned him. He's a solid director, almost kind of underrated in some ways.
We haven't done a James Mangold movie yet. We've come close to doing a James Mangold movie when we did.
We have,
talking about Wolverine. X-Men Origins Wolverine, because then after that movie, James Mangold went on to.
No, we had done. No, we had done James Mangold
Wolverine movies. Which one?
Dial of Destiny.
Oh, you're right. We have.
Because his career is so weird.
Yes.
He's like this fill-in for Steven Spielberg on an Indiana Jones movie. His career is so all over the place. Like,
yeah,
he does Copland, Girl Interrupted, Kate and Leopold, Identity, 3:10 to Yuma, right? Logan, Ford versus Ferrari, right? He's got this really varied career.
He's got an eclectic,
these generally really
career.
Solid movies. And then the Dial of Destiny one just kind of seemed like it was out of nowhere.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. He did direct Dial of Destiny, and we talked about that movie. So yeah, we had done a James Mangold movie.
We had done one with him. So
it's been too long since we've done a James Mangold movie.
Yes, it has been. But he's a big part for the success. He is completely committed to making sure that this whole thing comes to life. And he did a good job of not making it overly sentimental or overly dramatic. He lets the two he just lets the two of them go and trust them in the process.
He lets them do what they do best, and they knock it out of the park.
Yep. But
I mean, this movie would not be as good of a movie if it weren't for The two of them, Joaquin Phoenix and Reese Witherspoon.
And just allowing them to, again...
If either one of them was somebody else playing it, it wouldn't have been as good.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's a good point.
I mean, it still, could have been a good movie.
It still could have been fine.
But it wouldn't have been, like, just their chemistry. It made the movie, in my opinion.
It did. And it's kind of funny. It's like, it's not a pair you necessarily would first think of.
No,
right?
No. But they're both such good actors.
They are.
And they both bring so much to the table, and they feed off each other so well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they do. But yeah, I don't know if I have a whole lot else to say before we jump into it.
I don't know if I do either. So let's get into it. So, as always, spoiler alert, we are going to be talking about this entire movie, beginning, middle, and end. So if you have not seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, pause the podcast, watch the movie, and come back and listen. If you have seen it or you just don't mind being spoiled, then keep on listening. But we are going to be spoiling this entire movie. You have been warned.
The entire movie. And if you know Johnny Cash's life, you might already know a lot of what's going to happen in this movie, even if you haven't actually seen the movie.
Yeah. But if you don't know about Johnny Cash's life, then, we're going to tell you some stuff about Johnny Cash's life.
We are. And before we actually just fully jump into it, since we have talked about how Phoenix and Witherspoon did the music for this movie, or at least did a lot of the music for this movie, even though it's...
Yeah. I mean, it was their voices.
Their voices is... the soundtrack of this movie also did, because it did feature them kind of covering Cash, so to speak, right? Did receive some Grammy love as well, at the Grammys, because it was kind of it wasn't original, but because it was, you call it basically covers, right?
Yep.
And so, it received love kind of at the Grammys because of how good they were.
Yes.
And T-Bone Burnett,
yes, I was going to say
a big portion of that music as well.
Yes, I was going to say we can't discount T-Bone Burnett for his work in this. Because yes, it was their voices. It was the voices of the actors playing the different musical artists. But T-Bone Burnett is the one who, put together the music for this movie, and you know, all of that.
And some of the other artists that we talked about earlier were doing their own versions also of
Elvis or Roy Orbison.
Yes.
Or Jerry Lee Lewis. It was the actors who were performing those songs.
Yep. Shooter Jennings was, on the soundtrack. So, we should mention that too.
Which I still think that was great that they got Shooter Jennings to play his father.
Yes, I agree.
That they got Shooter to play Waylon.
So, back to the beginning of the movie. We are in 1968, and we are in an empty prison yard.
An empty prison yard, and you just hear, music playing. You hear a guitar and a bass, and some drums. Going.
And we see this crow is just kind of sitting there, and you just hear the music, and the music starts to get louder as the
we see the sign.
The prison yard.
We see a sign that says Folsom Prison. That's
right. We see a sign that says Folsom Prison, and then we go from outside, and it starts to take us into a hallway within the prison.
Yeah. And we see...
And following these feet.
Yeah.
It's like the warden and some other guards going towards...
And you hear this music here. You hear this music, and you hear stomping of boots.
Yes,
you see your stomping of boots on the floor, and the stomping gets quicker, and
and then you're hearing like clapping going with the stomping. Right, it's rowdy. Right, and now we're into this large open area, and you just see all these men in these prison jumpsuits. And they're stopping, they're clapping. You got guards around, and there's this stage, and there's some musicians up there, and they're kind of strumming. They're playing the guitar, beating on the drum, right? But they're waiting for somebody. And obviously the person they're waiting for is
Yeah.
Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
But he is in the shop.
Yes,
right?
he's in the wood shop.
The wood shop.
And there's this table saw that we had a close-up of. And we see a thumb come up and sort of, glide across the blade of the... It's not turned on, obviously. But yeah, we see this thumb come up and sort of touch the blade of the table saw. And then, it sort of pans out and we see Joaquin Phoenix standing there just staring at this saw.
At the saw, and it's just, and again, like he's just kind of playing with the the little notches of the blade with his thumb. And it cuts from the prison.
Well, we get the guys that we were following walking down the hall, following their feet.
That's right.
They come in and they talk to him. They're like, "Okay, they're ready for you."
They're ready for you. That's right. They say, "Yep."
And then, then it kind of zooms in a little bit on Joaquin Phoenix's face, and then we get, it sort of goes to a flashback to Arkansas.
And it's like 1944.
It's 1944 Arkansas.
And it's, and again, it's Arkansas. It's like it's a small little like farmhouse. Mm-hmm. Not even really being like a farm. Like it's like a cotton farm.
It's a cotton farm, but it's just this tiny little like house. It's just this tiny little house
on this farm.
Yeah.
And you hear this voice, and he's telling this guy, you can tell it's a dad telling one of his kids, like, turn this music down.
Turn it down.
It's time to go to bed.
Yeah.
Right? And so the voice is that of Robert Patrick.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant in this movie, by the way. He's great in this movie.
Plays Johnny Cash's father, right?
Mm-hmm. Ray Cash.
And we see the two boys in this bedroom together. They share a bedroom. They're, a few years apart.
We have Jack Cash and J.R. Cash.
Johnny is Johnny Cash, right? But here right now they call him J.R.
J.R. because that's his name. He was born J.R. The initials J.R. And we find out in a little bit why is now Johnny. But
he is played by Ridge Canopy. Yeah. And his brother Jack, who is the older brother, is played by Lucas Till.
Which Ridge Canopy, however you pronounce his last name. I'm sorry. I am sorry for butchering the name.
It's a simple last name, but I could see it being pronounced multiple different ways.
I apologize for
Ridge
for butchering your name, Ridge. But folks who like Supernatural, in the early seasons, he played a young Dean Winchester.
All right. I've not really seen much Supernatural, so I wouldn't be able to tell you that. But so JR and Jack are listening to the radio, and they're listening to the Carters, right? And so if you're not familiar with the Carters, you were talking about June Carter, who becomes Johnny Cash's second wife. She was part of a musical family that was, of country artists, right?
The Carters. I mean, you if you know anything about music in, the 40s and 50s.
Especially in the South, you would know
the Carter family. The Carter family singers, they were huge.
But
back in the day,
JR and Jack love listening to the Carters on the radio. Right, but they had to turn it off because the dad's upset. The dad's drunk, right?
Yeah,
and they had this conversation after they turn it off. And
first they're they're listening, and Ray tells them to turn it off, and he's not, and so Jack is laying in his bed,
right?
He's laying down, and he's sort of reading, and JR is, he's sitting in a chair. He's right in front of the radio. He's listening. Right. He's like all into it.
Yes.
And, the Carters are singing, and then comes up, and there's one in particular that is singing, and he's like, Hey, Jack, do you know who this is? Do you know which Carter this is? He's like, I don't know. That's your thing. That's Anita. I don't know. He's like, no, this is June. This is June singing.
I love June.
You know, and he kind of turns it up a little bit because June started singing. So he's going to turn it up a little bit. And then that gets Ray to, you know, yell at him again to turn it off. It's time for bed.
Of interest here. So like, June was like 3 years older than Johnny Cash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. June is a kid
You know,
in this because it's the Carter family
like
singers.
Yeah.
Right.
So here she is. She's like a teen. She's
and her
probably,
sister Anita.
This is the mid 40s. She's probably like 14 years old, maybe. And Johnny
Maybell,
like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
Right.
And of the two daughters in the Carter family, Anita was the more well known. She was the the more prolific singer of, you know, the children of the Carter family at the time.
So, but anyway, so we established that JR is the more musical of the brothers, the one that knows his music, knows his hymns really well with his mom. And Jack, he's going to be a preacher.
Yeah. Jack,
he knows his verses, his Bible verses.
So Johnny, or JR, you know, starts talking with Jack, and he's like, how are you so good at everything? You know, Dad always looks at you as, you know, you're good at everything you do. And he's like, how do you know the scripture so well? You know every line of the Bible, you know, every word. You know, and Jack is like, well, I'm gonna if I'm gonna be a preacher someday, I need to know the Bible. All right. So if people come to me, I gotta tell them the right story. You know, I gotta have the right information. But what
I like about this,
you know every hymn. You know every hymn in Mom's hymn book, in the Heavenly Hymn Book.
What I like about this little interaction, right, is that he could be kind of this butthole older brother.
He could be, but he's not.
He's not.
He loves his brother.
Like, no, like, you know things too.
You know things that I could never dream of knowing.
Right?
You know?
Like he's pointing out these positives and strengths of his brother.
Mm-hmm.
He's being encouraging to him.
Yeah.
He just be like, oh yeah, because I'm a lot. He can just say, well, I'm just better than you.
I'm older. I know more. You know, but no, he's like, well, sure, I know all this stuff, but you know a lot that I don't know. You know, you know all the stuff about music that I could never dream of knowing.
Yep. So they talk about that. They talk about how it's hot and how tomorrow is going to be hotter.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about how, and JR wants to go fishing.
Yeah, he's like, maybe Dad will let us off early so we can go fishing. And then Jack's like, yeah, that's not going to happen. Because, they got to go out and work the fields in the morning. They got to pick cotton.
Yeah, because, essentially they're like sharecropper. Their dad's like a sharecropper.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not, he has to pick the field and he has to deliver the cotton.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We kind of talked about this, a few months back with sinners. Right.
Mm-hmm.
They're free, these freed slaves, but, they have to, the way they're earning their keep is essentially picking cotton. And the dad's not very educated. He's not intelligent. He's not, he's white, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
he's not a landowner or anything like that. And
no, but
he's a drunk.
He's got a cotton
so it
field,
has to be,
he's got to make his money. He's got to, he's got to make money to support his family. And they do that by, picking cotton.
So we cut to the next day, right? And the boys are off. They walk out the house. They go to kind of down to the main road.
Well, first they're doing their cotton. They're doing their cotton picking. And, and then, briefly, then we got them. It looks like they got let off early.
Yep.
Because was it Jack or JR that made the comment about how it's noon now and it's supposed to be like 106 degrees this afternoon.
Right. Yes. I can't very for you, but yes.
But yeah, so it looks like they were able to get let off work early. And yeah, they're walking down the road. They got their fishing poles in their hands. It's just, the sapling with the string attached to it.
Yeah, very basic,
not
cheap
your
pole.
not your typical fishing poles you would think about it now.
These are they're a poor family.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they're walking down. They're just loving it. They're, JR is trying to balance his fishing pole on his hand, like kids do. And they're talking, and Jack is like, "Hey, JR, what was it that rooster said?" Because they start out like they're talking about Bugs Bunny, and like,
oh yes,
JR is like, "Yeah, what's up, Doc?" And then, that gets him talking about Looney Tunes. And then, Jack is like, what is it that rooster says? And JR is like, he does his best Foghorn Leghorn impression. He's like, it's like, what's that rooster say after he gets blown up? And all his feathers go flying everywhere? And JR's like, fortunately, I keep my feathers numbered for just such an emergency.
Yeah. I like the little call because this would have been like early days of Looney Tunes, right? I like they kind of call back to that. Anyway, small moments, but
so they're loving their time together, right?
Yes.
And they're walking up, and then we have them at a sawmill.
Yep.
And Jack is cutting wood on a table saw. And JR is kind of sitting over in the corner, just kind of frustrated because he wants to go fishing. And he's like, so the table saw, Jack gets about halfway through a board and it starts to sort of kick back. And the saw kind of starts jerking around a little bit and going crazy. And so JR runs up and he turns it off. And then he's like, "Can't we just go now?" And Jack's like, "Well, they're paying me $1 to cut the whole bundle, not just half of it. So why don't you go ahead? I'll meet you there."
Yep.
And so
JR leaves.
He goes fishing.
In the middle of fishing, he's leaving.
And Jack goes back to, cutting the wood.
We see JR fishing. He finishes fishing. He's walking back to town.
He's sitting there, his pole in his hand, and he's sitting there. He's kind of looking around, like, "Where's Jack?" kind of thing. And he gets up, starts walking back to town. And
he gets stopped by a pickup truck.
Yeah, a car
and
pulls
his dad's
up,
in it.
and his dad's in there, and he's like, "Where have you been?" And he's got a bloody shirt in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, "Get in the truck, boy." And they go, and Jack is in a hospital bed. Or like they're back at home, aren't they?
No, it's like a hospital or doctor's office.
Anyway, he's in the hospital bed, and
he gets
got
into
a
the room.
bandage
His mom is
over his torso.
His mom is in the room also. He sees her, and she's sobbing.
Mm-hmm. And Jack has this bandage wrapped around his torso, and he's just got this blood line going down the center of his chest.
Yes.
So, I mean, you can guess what happened.
Yeah.
And he's pale, and he sees JR walk in, and
he asks him if he can hear the angels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, JR comes over to him and takes his hand. He's holding his hand, and Jack is like, "JR, can you hear those angels?"
And the mama's like, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, JR doesn't say anything, but the mom is like, "Yes, I can hear those angels. I can hear him, Jack."
And then his eyes just kind of glaze over, and he stops breathing. And JR just starts screaming like, "Somebody do something!
Like, somebody do something! Do something!"
Right, and then obviously we know what's happened. He's bled to death. We cut to a church, and we have an open casket. There's a preacher there, right? We cut from there to the house, and at this point now, the dad's just like upset.
Yeah.
JR is
Ray
in his room,
pissed off. He is just He's upset.
blaming
He's blaming
JR
JR
for the death.
Yeah.
And blaming God also. He's like, no, like God took the wrong son.
He, JR gets upset because, Ray is yelling at him. He's like, he's blaming him for it. So JR runs into his room, and, as he's running into the room, then, you hear Ray say, it was the devil. He took the wrong son.
Yep. And then, JR's crying. Like, he and his brother, like, they literally shared a bed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Again, they're poor. Like, they don't have multiple beds. They share a bed together.
A twin bed.
Mm-hmm.
And so, JR goes and he lays down on his stomach and he's just sobbing into the pillow. And then we cut 2 years later.
Yep. Now we're in the early 50s, about 1952.
Mm-hmm. And
JR has morphed into
Joaquin Phoenix, yes. And his sister comes to the door.
In a military uniform, an Air Force uniform.
Well, no,
right?
At this point, he's not in the Air Force uniform yet.
Yeah, that's right.
He's dressed up, as nice as he can be.
And he's still in that same room. It's that same small farmhouse, in that cotton field.
Mm-hmm. And his sister comes in and it's like, it's time to go. You're going to sleep there all day?
He has a little badge that says Johnny on, or John. Right? And it's like, well, is your name JR? It's like, well, the military isn't like initials. Yeah. Like, so.
The Air Force doesn't. The Air Force doesn't take initials. Maybe he's in a military uniform now. Or at least a jacket for it. And he's got a jacket, yeah. It says John Cash on his name tag, on his little name patch. And and she's like, why does it say John? Your name's JR. Like, well, the Air Force doesn't like initials. Initials don't really mean anything to them. So they told me pick a name.
So, he leaves. He's got a little bag, right? He sees his brother-in-law. He's like, take care of my sister.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he sees his mom, gives her a hug. And he has a brief interaction with his dad.
And then he goes,
his dad just basically says, you're going to miss your bus.
Yeah, he walks over to his dad, kind of looks at him, and his dad looks down at him, and he's like, you're going to miss your bus.
And he just spits.
And he's like, yeah, I am. And then he walks away.
Right? And then we kind of see him walk down that same little driveway to the road. Like, he walked down with his brother.
Mm-hmm.
We saw just a little bit earlier. And then he walks down the road that he walked with his brother. Right? And you can kind of think maybe that he's having maybe that same last conversation that they had about Foghorn Leghorn in his head. Right? They don't go there, but you can imagine maybe that's what he's thinking about, right? Here he is leaving the family home to, he's now.
Well, also there is a little bit more interaction with his dad before. So when he's talking to his mom, and they're talking about he's going overseas.
That's right.
For the war.
Oh yeah.
And his dad says like,
oh well, he's not going to Korea.
Yeah, he's
going to Germany.
Yeah, he's going to Germany. The war is in Korea.
Yeah.
So, because this was the 50s. This is during the Korean War.
This is like the early 50s during the Korean War, right? So, obviously he catches his bus, right? He finishes his basic training, and they send him to Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And so then we
jump see him walking down the street in Germany, right? He looks at some of the young women that are there, and they look at him, and he's in his uniform, his uniform, right?
His Air Force uniform. And
he sees a music shop.
And he goes in there.
So he walks in.
And he is looking at guitars.
Yep.
And he sees this one hanging from the ceiling.
And it's beautiful. He wants to see it.
It is a nice looking guitar.
The shop owner, if he can, handle it, and he's allowed to, and he picks it up. Right? And then we can see that he buys it.
Yeah. Because then we see him back at the base, and he's got the guitar with him. And he's sitting in a room by himself, and he's strumming on the guitar, and you hear him start to sing the opening, like he's writing Folsom Prison Blues.
Yes.
You hear him, he's strumming and he starts singing some of the words to it, and then some words that are different than the finished version.
Yep, but he's just doing what musicians do. Strum a bit. So thinking about the chords,
that might come
about the lyrics, how it all fits together, right? And then it cuts to him where he's actually doing his work, right? And so his job here in Germany is that he's listening for communications, right? In terms of what might be necessary to be able to pass on to anything that might be of use to know if they're trying to target anything or attack anything.
And it's also, before we go any further with it, it's also important to mention, neither of us have mentioned this before, but both of us watched the extended cut, the director's cut for this movie.
And because it's been so long, I couldn't even tell you what.
I could tell you one or two scenes that are different, but as far as
and I didn't really
the entire almost 20 minutes that's added to it, I couldn't tell you all of that. But I know there's at least one or two scenes in there that are different because I remember watching deleted scenes with the original.
I think
DVD.
In some ways it almost kind of works a little bit for the better because there is so much material and they sometimes jump years at points without really saying it. It kind of helps some of that connective tissue. But this is the extended cut that we watched.
So if you watch the theatrical cut, then that's just fine. I mean, the vast majority of the movie is what you saw. What we're talking about is what you saw, but we may be talking about some scenes that aren't familiar to you.
What are they talking about?
Yeah. We may be talking about some scenes that are not familiar to you if you've watched the theatrical cut and not the extended cut. But
anyway, he's in the room with other guys that are listening to things too, right?
Yeah, they've each got their radio there and their
love letter.
Yeah.
Right?
He's writing this letter and he's tapping his fingers like he's working on, another song.
Yep.
Right? And one of the guys notices.
And so he goes up, he pulls the letter, and he just starts, reading the letter off in a mocking way. Right?
Because he's writing a letter to his girlfriend, Vivian, back home. His girlfriend back home, Vivian. And then, so Johnny grabs it.
And as we'll discover soon, they actually haven't known each other for very long. They kind of met each other. Then he had to leave. Yeah. Right?
They've known each other for a month before he went to Germany.
And it's obvious these guys kind of know that. And it's like no,
she's not going to wait 2 years for you.
She's not waiting 2 years for you. She's 17 years old. Right? Because really, what really was she was 17, Johnny Cash was 19. Right? Which really isn't much of a difference at all. And,
no, but it's you're here in Germany, she's back in the States. There's no way she's waiting 2 years for you.
No. Yeah, I mean, she barely knows you. And there'll be a discussion later when he's on the phone with her. It's like, my dad says I hardly know you, right? So, but that's when you see the superior kind of come into their room. Yeah, and you should get back to work.
So Johnny takes the letter back, and he makes some comment about at least to have somebody or something like that, something to counteract what they're saying about him.
Right.
And, he gets back to his work. He's listening to the radio. He's listening to, and
he's still tapping his fingers.
Yeah, he's still tapping. And it's he's tapping them like he's writing a song, right?
And this guy, this superior, he's coming in, and all of a sudden, you see him, he goes to his typewriter. He just starts typing something out.
First up, one of the guys behind him sees their superior coming in, and he's got his eyes locked on Johnny.
Yeah.
He sees that he's kind of, not doing what he's supposed to be doing. Right. And so, the guy kind of, motions at Johnny, kind of whispers to him. It's like, hey, he's coming.
So then Johnny,
Johnny notices that he's there, and he starts sort of changing what he's doing with his fingers on the desk, making it seem more like Morse code.
Well, he's just trying to decipher.
And then then he goes and he starts typing something in on the typewriter. And as the superior walks up, he pulls out the paper from there and hands it to him.
Right, the guy reads it and then it moves along. Right,
and it's a legit, message that came through.
So he was listening. Mm-hmm. He's multitasking.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of get the we cut to that phone conversation we're talking about with him.
Yeah,
and
with
Vivian.
him and Vivian. And she's like, I don't know if we're gonna be able to make it.
My dad. It's like, oh no,
we've
you
only
tell your
known
dad
each other for a month.
We love each other.
It's like, yeah, tell your dad that we love each other and we're gonna get married and I'm gonna give you everything you ever wanted. I'm gonna give you that big house. I'm gonna give you all that.
And he's like, yeah, we're gonna move to Memphis, and we'll have our house, right? We'll have our family, all of us. She's like, oh, okay. And they're still kind of talking, and like the superior's there on the other guys, and the guy was like, it's like, your 5 minutes was up 5 minutes ago. Yeah. And he hangs up, he hangs up the phone.
Hangs up the phone for him, and
And they cut to, like again. It's interesting, like we saw this scene earlier with Prison Yard, right?
Mm-hmm. And
they bring in the prisoners for entertainment, right? And just like that, like soldiers, right? World War II, they were doing it, and then here for Korea, like
they bring them in for
they bring in entertainment for them.
Yeah, they like newsreel kind of thing.
And and this one they are talking about the Carters, right? And even when he came back to base earlier after buying the guitar, he saw one of the guards that's there at the edge of the base had like a newspaper.
Yes,
talked about Hank Williams Sr.
Hank Williams dying. Yes, Hank Williams Sr. dying. Yeah.
So, but this one though, they're talking about the Carters and all of them. And again, like he perks up at this because he's still thinking about June. Right?
Yeah, because he's had a thing for June since he was a kid.
Yep. And they talk about. Do they talk about the Folsom Prison in here too? I think they talk about Folsom Prison also. They talk about it's like a couple different.
So things. The news
like a riot at Folsom Prison or something happened at Folsom Prison.
Yeah. In fact, no, I think it's just it. I think this newsreel is just about Folsom Prison. I don't think it actually mentions the Carters.
There was something else. I think there was a newspaper about June.
That's later.
Getting married or something when he was at the Okay.
Yeah, that's later. Right before they meet, there's the article. There's the newspaper headline about her getting divorced.
Yeah, so that's right. Yeah, this is only about Folsom Prison.
Later. So this video that they're watching is just about Folsom Prison.
Right. And then so he watches this, and it kind of cuts to him at different points playing the guitar, and again.
At one point, he's like in a hangar, and he's sitting behind some crates, and he's playing, and
then he makes a noise. There's some guys on rounds that they hear him.
They're walking out. You see their flashlights pointing in there. He just stops and sort of hunches down. Okay. He sort of hunches down behind the crates so they don't see him, and then they start to move on, and he starts playing again. But yeah, then he comes home.
Yep. And now he and Vivian are married. They live in Memphis.
In a house.
And he has been discharged from the Air Force, right? And now he is they have a baby, right? And he is making a living as a door-to-door salesman.
Yeah. So he's, getting dressed, he's putting on a nice shirt and a tie, and Vivian, played by Jennifer Goodwin, she is like, "You're gonna go out and try to sell something today?" It's like, "Yeah, I got to." He's like, "I don't know. You know what my daddy always said? My daddy has got a job for you. You should just take him up on the job offer he has for you." He's like, "Honey, I got to do this myself. I gotta go out and sell something."
And he's like, "Well, it's like, yeah, I've seen your briefcase. I don't think you're selling anything." Right? It's like, "Oh, I gotta do it. I'm gonna try. I gotta do it." Right? And so he leaves, right? And there's this little montage of him just going to different
door
houses,
to door, and people slam the door in his face, and
shut up.
You know, he introduces himself and then says who he works for, and then somebody shuts the door.
It's like, oh, I'm on this avenue over here, and then bam, 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 right? And so then, he's walking around town, and he comes, to this like business district, and
he walks by a recording studio.
Well, before that, he's walked by the shoe shine stand.
He walks by the shoe shine boys.
And there's two. They have there's two chairs, and there's two boys doing it. An older one and another one. This kid's probably 8 to 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he catches eyes with him. Yeah. They lock,
and they're just shining these shoes, and they seem to be like having fun with it.
Yes,
they seem to be keeping themselves entertained while they're shining people's shoes.
Right. And so that's when after that is when he goes by this recording studio, right? He sees these two or three guys that are across the street getting instruments out of the vehicle and bringing them into the studio, right? And he looks at it and he realizes, he sees there's this little parking lot just off to the left of it. And there's this open door and he can hear the music coming out from the door.
And we hear the music, and it turns out that what we find out later is this is Elvis recording.
Yes.
In this studio.
But yeah, he looks into the open door, right? And he sees him playing the music, and he's interested in the music, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he looks in, and then the studio man, guy there that's recording it sees him and then shuts the door.
He just slowly shuts the door. Yeah, he doesn't slam it. He just
doesn't slam it.
So he's like, yeah, this is a private session.
That's right. And so then we cut, and now we're on this front porch, right? And he's there. Johnny Cash is there, and he's got two buddies that are there. One has an upright bass.
Yeah, one's got an upright bass. The other has a guitar, and and Johnny's got his guitar, the one that he bought in Germany.
And they're playing gospel music.
They're playing gospel music.
And you see his wife Vivian. She's in there. She's playing cards
with the wives of the wives of the guys that are out on the porch with him.
There's a neighbor out there. He looks out, the porch, and his mom's calling these boys in. Right, and you can tell, he's kind of connecting these boys kind of with him and his brother. Right. And they play this gospel music, and it becomes too much for Vivian, right? Mm-hmm. Where she has to excuse herself from this game and goes in the bathroom. And
Johnny sees this. And so he gets up and, he excuses himself, and he goes back, and, he goes and, knocks on the door. He's like, Viv, let me in. What's wrong? We need to talk about this. And, she unlocks the door, and he comes in, and she's upset, because he's not fulfilling the promises that he made to her before they got married.
She realizes he's got talent.
He's not this. And
he's wasting it, and they're going to be evicted. And she needs something to change. Yeah,
he's not supporting the
promises
her.
Aren't there, like you said.
He's not supporting her and their baby how he should be. How he had promised he would be. And it's not for lack of trying on his part. But she's upset that he's not taking the job that her dad offered him, and this stuff that would guarantee money for them. But he's more, following his heart, following what he knows.
Yep.
And he's trying to make a life for them.
He is. He really is.
But, she's not satisfied with that.
So, this motivates him because he's got that studio in mind, the musicians, like, okay, maybe me and my buddies here can try to make an album. Right? And so he shows up at that studio.
Yeah, so he waits for
the producer there, the owner of the record, Sam Phillips,
played by Dallas Roberts,
who is really good in this.
Oh, he's
3, 5 to 8 minutes that he has.
He's great in this.
Again, he's one of these the small role in this movie, but he nails it, which helps. Again, it's one of those tiny things that helps elevate this beyond standard biopic.
Yes. But yeah, so he owns Sun Records.
And you can tell he's busy, and he's like, all right, making an appointment with my secretary.
Well, he's like, so first off, Johnny introduces himself. He's like, my name's Johnny Cash, and you know, I saw like, do you own this place? And he's like, yes, I do.
Yeah.
He's like, I saw you
cut a record. It's like, oh, I'll be $4.
Yeah, we want to cut a record. It's $4. And he's like, well, what about those guys that I saw you recording with earlier? I mean, I'm sure that those guys that are in here more often. I'm sure you don't charge them $4 for every record, right? For everything that they record here. It's like, oh no, those people are on my label. He's like, well, how do I get on your label?
Like, contact my secretary.
Yeah, he's like, contact my secretary.
She'll make an appointment for you next week.
I can't wait till next week. Set up an audition. Yeah, he's like, I can't wait that long. And
it's like, excuse me. He's like, no, I can't wait that long. Right. And we don't get the rest of the conversation, but we can tell that he takes this to heart and sets something up either that day or the next day.
I would think it's probably the next day because he'd need time to tell his band.
Yeah. Yes. Right. And so they're in the studio and they're playing that same gospel song that we heard earlier.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. You can tell that Philip's like, okay, he realizes that there is some talent there within Johnny.
Yeah.
But he's not. It's like, I can't sell
gospel. Everybody plays gospel.
It's like, and there are two standards. And instead of just telling him to leave, like he could just easily tell him, you know what, guys, go.
He's
I'm
like,
not interested.
He's like, I don't, I can't sell what you're saying. He's like,
do you have something else?
Johnny is like, well, because they're about ready to pack up and go. And Johnny's like, you don't like the song that I'm singing, or you don't like how I'm singing it? And he's like, well, both.
Like, I don't like the song, and I don't believe you.
I don't believe you. It's not that you're not singing well. It's that it's not about, and Johnny's like, so you're saying I'm not a Christian because you don't believe what I'm singing? God? You're saying I don't believe in God? He's like, it doesn't have anything to do with believing in God.
He's like,
it's just, if you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe.
This is going to be your last night on Earth. If you were dying.
Say, if you were to go out there and get hit by a bus and you're laying there dead, dying in the gutter, and you have time to play one song, is that really the song that you would play?
And so then he thinks about it. It's like, okay, well, I was in the Air Force. Do you have anything against the Air Force?
It's like, no.
No.
He's like, well, I do. And then that sort of piques Sam Phillips' interest. And
his buddies are looking at us like, oh, you're about to play a song Johnny, that we don't know.
Whatever you're about to play, we don't know it. And so Johnny just starts strumming on his guitar, and he starts singing Folsom Prison Blues.
I hear the train a-coming.
It's rolling around the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since.
And his buddies, they're not playing yet.
When
it's just Johnny right now.
Stuck in Folsom Prison.
And Sam, like, all of a sudden, like, he's feeling that there is truth and emotion to what's being played.
I mean, even though the other two aren't playing yet, Sam sees it. He sees Johnny in this
eventually
song, right?
Looks back at them, and they catch on to the rhythm that he's playing.
And so they just start playing, and they're keeping up with him, and then he gets to a break in the song, and he kind of looks back at his the rest of his band, who become known as, like, the three of them become known as Johnny Cash and the Tennessee Two.
Yes.
Eventually, and then later they add a drummer, and they're the Tennessee Three.
Well, what's interesting about this is, in real life, they started as the Tennessee Three. One of them drops out because he doesn't believe it's going to work, and he was afraid of losing the stability of the job that he did have, and so it became the Tennessee Two.
Yeah,
And then it became the Tennessee 3 again.
Again, yeah. Yeah. In the movie, it just starts as the Tennessee 2.
And then the 3.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But yeah, they're so Luther Perkins and Marshall Grant are the two. Luther Perkins is on guitar. Marshall Grant is on the upright bass. Luther Perkins is played by Dan John Miller. Marshall Grant is Larry Bagby.
Right.
Anyway, so they get to a little break in the lyrics of the song, and Johnny kind of looks back at Luther and kind of, makes, an eye gesture to him.
Yes.
And so then Luther just out of nowhere just starts, picking on his guitar.
Yep.
And that's where you get that riff from, Folsom Prison Blues. And
then...
Yeah, then
you can tell Sam likes it, but it then cuts to the evening.
It cuts to later on that night, and it's raining.
And Jennifer, she's there alone.
Rain. And
she sees Vivian's Johnny come in.
And she sees Johnny come in from outside. He's drenched.
He's soaked.
And before this, before they went to the studio to record, we had Johnny putting on his shirt, and he was putting on a black shirt.
That's right.
And she commented, like, why are you wearing black? Why don't you wear some other colors? And Johnny's like, this is the only color we all have. We got to match.
Got to match. So, yeah, he comes in. He's soaked. She's like, where you been?
Are you drunk? He kind of just shakes his head. He's like, no.
We recorded all day.
We were recording all night, all evening. And we recorded one song and he loved it. So we recorded some more. We were like 6 or 7 times we were playing one song, but we made a record. And Vivian's excited.
Yes.
And, so and Johnny's excited. And then we cut a little bit later.
Yep. And we're back at the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And he's looking at these different things, and I guess he talks about they set it up where he has he's gonna play it, the song with this DJ on the radio station.
Well, no, before that though, was the DJ before he heard himself on the radio?
I thought that was before. I was trying to place that.
Yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, because he's out at this other radio station. With this DJ that's
he's in the DJ booth.
Coming in the DJ booth, and he's like, change.
Hey, can you turn that record?
Yeah, he's like, go ahead and flip it over, because he's got Johnny's record there that he's like, yeah, go ahead and flip that over. And so Johnny's got his hands full, first off. And he's trying to flip the record, but it slips out of his hand and it falls on the ground and breaks.
It cuts. He's on the phone. And so he's trying to talk to Sam. He's like, oh, "This is terrible. I broke the record. I broke it. The worst part is, I think he liked the music."
Yeah, the worst part is I think he liked it. So he goes to Sun Records, and he's with Phillips again, and he's like, I don't know. I mean, he's getting ready. He's like, we need to record it again. We need to we need to get the band together. I need to call them and get them over here so we can record again. He's like, relax. You don't need to record it again. What you broke was the sample. That's what we send in before they send us a batch of 1,000.
And you look on the studio, and there's a bunch of these records all over the studio. And then
so
Sam
he hands him one. He's like, yeah, you're good. We don't have to record again.
Sam goes back towards the back part of the studio, and there's this other musician there, which we find out is Jerry Lee Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's pulling your chain. Nobody could be that stupid. And that's when we cut back to their
house, and they're in their room. They're in bed.
Had a tea party.
Yep. And
she's trying to tell him to quiet down
because they're getting ready for bed. It's not clear if they had a tea party or not. I mean, obviously did earlier because there's a baby sleeping in a crib at the foot of their bed. So obviously they had a tea party at some point in time. But Johnny's, he's getting ready for bed, and they've got the radio on.
Yeah.
And Cry, 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 his song starts playing on the radio.
Yeah.
And so
quiet to turn it down.
So he goes to turn it up, and he's like, "Hey, this is my song." He turns up, and she's like, "Quiet, quiet, the baby's sleeping."
But then
you're right. So he turns it down. He turns it off.
He hears it outside.
Yeah, he hears his neighbor listening to it outside. So he goes up to the window. He's like, "Hey, that's my song.
That's my song."
And then he remembers the baby's sleeping. He's, oh, I'm sorry. The baby starts crying. So he goes and picks up the baby, Roseanne, and runs outside and listens to his song playing on the radio. And he is ecstatic.
Rightfully ecstatic. So.
And also we missed one little thing that it doesn't really matter to those who watch the theatrical cut, but in the extended cut, there's one scene that we left out, which was one of the deleted scenes.
Okay.
Where, because of all of this, you could tell that Johnny and Vivian were having some issues, back before he went and recorded.
Yes.
We get a little bit of him writing Cry, Cry, Cry in the basement.
Oh, that's right. It's like, that's mean.
Yeah. And she walks in, she comes down the stairs while he's playing it. And she's hearing some of the lyrics. And she's like, that song's mean, because she thinks it's about her. And yeah, because if you ever listen to the lyrics of Cry, 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 it's about, you're one day, if you leave me, you're going to realize how good I am and you're going to cry. You're going to cry, cry, cry kind of thing, right? So she assumes that he's writing this song about her. And he's like, that's a mean song. And she storms back upstairs like, hey, honey, baby, it's just a song. But yeah, then we hear that's the song that's playing on the radio.
Yes. So that plays, and then we see he gets, a deal to tour with other artists,
other musicians
off Sun Records.
So we go to Texarkana, Texas.
Texarkana. This is their first. This is gonna be their first show. Johnny Cash and the Tennessee 2. This is gonna be their first show.
Their very first show.
And Jerry Lee Lewis is out there, and he's rocking.
No, Jerry Lee Lewis is not out there yet. Isn't Elvis out there first?
You might be right.
Yeah, he's got to follow Elvis. And yeah, because Jerry Lee Lewis comes in later. So Elvis is out there.
He's listening there. He's enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's Elvis out there. And
but who's also there is June Carter.
So he's out there and there and one of the I think it's Roy Orbison comes up. He's like, "Oh, I'd hate to be following that."
Yeah.
And then we found out that Johnny Cash in the Tennessee 2 is supposed to be following Elvis.
But June Carter's there too.
Yeah, so she's kind of like off behind. She's off
MC,
backstage,
kind of in the way. MC,
she's sort of co-host.
She's kind of like co-hosting it.
Yeah. So she's backstage, and the one host comes out on stage.
And there's supposed to be a little thing in between where they kind of do their own little gag.
They do a little like vaudeville kind of thing, and so June is waiting for her cue to go out there.
Guitar strap.
Yeah, and so she and Johnny get to chatting a little bit before she heads out, and she gets caught on his guitar strap. She gets her dress caught on his guitar strap.
Literally gets caught in the guitar strap.
Yeah,
should be caught in another guitar strap, quote unquote guitar strap later. But no, this is literally
getting her dress caught on his guitar strap. And so, the guy's out there, he's like, and we got June Carter coming up, wherever she is. And
she's just screaming like, I'll be right out. And Johnny Cash's guitar strap.
He's like, where are you? He's like, I'm back here. I'm tangled. like, tangled? Tangled in what? It's like, Johnny Cash's guitar strap. And let me tell you, Johnny Cash is pretty strapping himself. His guitar strap's pretty strapping too. And that gets a laugh out of the crowd. So, and then Johnny's concerned. Like he seems real concerned. It's like, oh, don't worry, I can keep this going for at least 3 or 4 more minutes.
Yeah, but she gets out. Like they kind of cut it out a little bit, right? Or get untangled.
Mm-hmm. They kind of rip it, and she runs out of stage. Meanwhile,
he holds on to the part.
There's this little piece of her dress that is still there, and like he's sort of holding on to that.
It's kind of like this, not like a, it's kind of a darker pink.
Yeah. It's sort of a darker pink, sort of frilly piece of her dress.
And we'll see this piece of fabric throughout the movie.
Yeah.
But she goes back out there, and they do their talking thing, and then they introduce Johnny Cash in the Tennessee Chill. And then they come out on stage. And again, if you would imagine this as just a straight up fictional movie that's not a biopic, you can begin to think, like, are they going to get like the stage fright?
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen? Right? They play some nice tension into this scene. I think.
Yeah.
About what would happen, and then he just gets up to the mic. He says, "Hello, I'm Johnny Cash.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash." He's all nervous. It's his first time on stage.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he just starts playing. And the band is the two of them, they start playing. And they're a hit. It's a success.
They're playing Get Rhythm.
Right. And if you listen to Get Rhythm, they talk about a shoe shine boy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so like that scene earlier helps make sense.
Yeah.
Within these lyrics. Right.
And, everybody, so you see the crowd's loving it. Then it shows backstage. Everybody backstage is loving it. They're like, this guy, he can follow Elvis.
That's right.
And so, they finish up, they get off stage, and then Jerry Lee Lewis goes out there. And he plays.
He plays, and he does his, he's Jerry Lee Lewis. I mean, he's awesome too. So he's success. And, he's a little more brash and what.
Yeah,
Johnny Cash is, right.
Roy Orbison goes out there while Johnny's talking on the phone with Vivian.
Yeah,
he's calling her, giving her an update on things, and telling them that, no, they love me, they loved us. And then he's like, oh, and Roy Orbison, Roy's out there. He's playing our song. It's like he put his own spin on it. He's playing our song. And then it kind of goes through, goes a little further into the tour. And
they're still having all this success, right?
And they stop at this little diner.
Yeah.
And Johnny walks in there. And he sits down at the counter.
Yep. And, he's there with, he gets out of the car, right? Like I think it's Roy Orbison is like, Johnny, we got like 1 hour.
Yeah.
Right?
We're heading out in an hour. And Johnny's like, okay. And he goes into the diner and he sits down at the counter.
And then June walks
in and she sits down next to him. And, they get to talking. And Johnny's like, my brother and I used to listen to you all the time. We used to listen to you on the radio all the time. We loved hearing you sing. And she's like, oh, no, you must be talking about Anita. She was always the singer. She was always the better of the two of us. And he's like, no. You were our favorite. My brother Jack and I, we would listen to you every night on the radio.
Yep. And she's like, tell Jack thank you.
Tell Jack thank you. And, my next concert, tell him to tune in next time on the radio. I'll tell him to tune in next time, on the radio, and I'll sing him a song. And Johnny was like, before, he's like, yeah, we used to love it. Like, when you're, that Small Arm place, that was our favorite. And he's like, yeah, I don't know, I'll sing him a song. Like something, and that's when.
Yes, so, you know, he died, you know, and
Jack
you know,
passed.
she feels bad about, you know, talking about that, right?
And he's like, well, actually, it's funny. I haven't talked about.
Talked about him really in years.
In years, you know.
I used to afterwards, and people just seemed to be like upset about it and didn't want me to, and so I just kind of stopped.
Yeah, I talked about him all the time, but then people just, seemed like I was doing it too much, so I just stopped. I haven't really talked about him since. And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then, she gets up to leave, and as she's leaving, she's like, "It was great talking to you. And you better tune in. I'm going to sing that Smaller Place song for you."
So, they have, the tour continues, and he gets a point where he's able to buy actually a new house. It used to be like this small, little, small house, his apartment. Buy this new house.
Yeah, it was, his sister is there. Small couple of bedrooms, single story, single family house in the suburbs, right?
So, but now his sister's there, right? With, his wife, with Vivian. And she comes to check in on him. Kind of in a little basement area that they have. And he's got all these boxes of letters. And you can tell even though now they have the house and they're secure, she's still not happy.
Yeah.
It's all those letters are addressed to you. And most of them are from girls that are 13 years old.
13, 14 years old.
And they're just sending you pictures with them in their bathing suits.
And he's like, "Honey, I'm not reading those letters. They're just letters. People are sending them. I'm not." And she's upset. And
that they have no time together. He keeps being on the road with this tour, and they never really established the ground rules about what was happening. And he has to talk with the daughters on the phone because he's never there, right? And he's just confused about why she's upset. So they, we kind of continue with the tour, and there's this, one show they're at, and they keep focusing on this one girl in the front row.
One girl in the front row.
And we finished the show, and
he's looking down at her, and she's just admiring him. And he's back in his dressing room area.
Right, he's in the wash area. You see him wash his face off in the sink, and then here's a little knock, and it's some stage manager there. It's he's like, "Oh, this
such and such, she's here to see you." And he's like, "Who?"
He's like, "Who?"
And then he says her name again, and then he he's like, "Okay." He steps away, and then pulls back the curtain, and it's this girl that was sitting in the front row. And so, Johnny,
you can imagine where it goes from here.
Johnny welcomes her in, and they move in close and they kiss, and then you can imagine the tea parties that are going on here.
Two excited trampoline guys in there.
Yes, two excited trampoline guys in there. He's unfolding his trampoline, right?
He's everywhere. Two excited trampoline guy and space cabbie. The unsung heroes.
Yes. In fact, two excited trampoline guy is probably everywhere he is because Space Cabbie has taken him there. He's delivering him to all these places.
And we get this montage of different shows and similar scenes, and it kind of ends with the one where he's kind of drunk and he falls out the backstage of these two girls he's taking somewhere.
He got one on either arm, and
right,
yeah.
We get the scene finally. Also, a little bit later, it's more of an extended scene where it's just all the guys are there. So it's you got Elvis, you got Jerry Lee Lewis, you got Roy Orbison, you got Johnny, you got Tennessee 2. They're all outside. They're outside this motel, right? And all drinking, And then it's like, oh, like Elvis takes these, and then amphetamines or uppers,
Yeah.
right?
And he's like, Johnny, you want some? And he's like, well, sure.
Why not? We're having
and,
fun.
Because his bandmates are having them, and the other singers are having them, and he's like, well, don't leave me out.
So he takes a couple, and he has a swig of beer with him. He puts them back, and then there is this massive tree that's kind of in this area where they're doing
before this scene. So we have another. So this is another tour when they're in a caravan.
That's right,
and they're going, and Johnny's driving. Jerry Lee Lewis is in the front seat.
Oh, that's right.
He's riding a shotgun. Behind Jerry Lee Lewis is June. Next to June is Marshall. And then in the back, we got Luther. And was it Elvis back there?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it Roy?
It was Roy, maybe, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it might have been Roy back there. Anyway. Marshall is there. He's got these masking tape, and he's wrapping it around something. And somebody asked him what he's making. He's like, a bomb.
That's right.
Meanwhile, everybody's kind of half asleep. And June's got her feet up on the seats in front of her.
Yeah, she's kind of mostly
her feet are kind of like right up by Johnny's head.
Dozing off.
And Johnny keeps looking back at her.
Yep.
He keeps looking back at her and just, admiring June.
He's admiring
there. Right?
He is admiring.
And Jerry, he starts flirting with June. All right, and then it gets to the point, his flirting gets to the point where he actually gets up and he reaches back there and, reaches his body back there to, try to get a kiss from her. Right? And Johnny just grabs him by the collar and he's like, sit your ass down. Brings her back up. But yeah, then we have them all outside the motel and, they got the uppers, and then after
a little bomb type structure.
After they take them, then Marshall goes up. Yeah, Marshall goes up and he puts the bomb that he made up in the tree, and he's got this fuse on it. And Johnny, he's like, "Hey, Johnny, you got a lighter?" He's like, "Yeah." And so they go up there and they put it up in the tree on the tree branch, and Johnny's like, "How long do we have? How long before it blows up?" And Marshall's like, 30 seconds per foot. So they got enough. So Johnny lights it, and they sort of mosey on back to the rest of the group. And then the bomb blows up and knocks the tree branch off the tree. And then it cuts to the motel. And so at the diner, when Johnny and June were talking, June mentions that she likes Johnny's sound, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he says, well, then he's like, well, I would play as well as the others, but I can't play that well. It's I would play faster, but I can't play that well. And so, they kind of leave it there. But they're back at the motel after the bomb went off in the tree. And Johnny goes over to June's room. And he's standing in the doorway. And they're talking. And June has this book, The Prophet.
Yep. She also talked about earlier how your salt, Cry 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 is really going up the charts. I'll show you in the magazine later where it is.
Yeah, I think it's number 14.
So that's what she shows him first is the magazine.
Yeah, she's like, I wanted to show you the billboard. So here it is, and she pulls up the newspaper with the billboard charts on it, and she's circled where Cry 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 is, and it's number 14 on the billboard chart. And he's like, oh, that's great, that's great. And then she's like, and
that's what she talks about.
And then she talks about the book, The Prophet. And she's like, here, this is a really good book. You should read it. And he's like, oh, I can't take your book. He's like, no, it's yours. Don't worry. Every time I finish a book, I give it to somebody.
Yep.
I give it to somebody who
it lightens the load.
Yeah,
so they'll have all the books with me, right?
Because she starts pulling out her she's looking for the newspaper, and so she's pulling all these books out of her bag. He's like, you got a library in there.
And so she gives the book and talk about it, and like it's a motel room, and he's attracted to her. And he's been drinking.
He leans in to try to kiss her, and she pulls away.
And she backs away. So she's like, no,
She's like,
honey,
no,
I got the divorce.
And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, it just happened.
You have a family. I don't need all the...
Yeah, because this was right after that newspaper article that we mentioned earlier where it says that she divorced her husband.
I don't need all the judgment right now.
And besides, don't you have a happy family? And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, it just happened. And then she's like, well, you wear black because you just don't have anything else to wear.
And he tried to kiss me.
You found your sound because you just can't play any better. Right. And you just tried to kiss me just now because it just happened.
Like, you should take credit for something once in a while. I think you should take credit for
something once in a while. Yeah. And then he leans in again to try to kiss her. And she's like,
and she still backs away.
And she backs away again. He's like, you need to go to bed.
Yep. Right. So he leaves. He sees Jerry Lee off there. He sees Jerry Lee's been watching him leave. And he's like, right. And Jerry Lee says something, and he's like, oh, shut up, Jerry Lee. Right. And actually, I think that happens before. That scene precedes the thing with when they blow up the tree in the uppers.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Because he goes off on that, and that's what happens. Okay.
So then we're back at the house, right?
Yes.
Is this when his parents come to visit?
Is it? I don't know if they come yet. No, it is at his house. Yeah, his parents are visiting at his house. They have a new baby, right? And his mom's like, "Hey, like, asks his dad, like, hey, you want to say like grace?" Like,
yeah, that's right. There's
JR's house. He should say grace.
Yeah, JR's house.
Dad, you go ahead.
But yeah, this whole time, Johnny's sort of sneaking off to take pills.
Yes.
And then we get some more of the tour. Another tour they're on.
He's technically now it is a Tennessee 3 at this point, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They've added a drummer in there. And the tour keeps just getting popular and popular.
And he starts becoming the headliner.
Yes.
For this stuff.
And finally this tour moves
it becomes
to
Johnny Cash with Jerry Lee Lewis and Roy Orbison and Elvis Presley.
Yeah, right.
And June Carter. And
so it finally moves along to West Virginia, to Wheeling, West Virginia, to like this 5 and dime shop. And right, this is like, it cuts to June. Like, it's one of the few scenes where like it opens and it's not Johnny Cash. Yeah. It's June.
It's June, and she's back there. She's looking for the fishing tackle section.
And there's this lady that comes up while she's looking for it. It's like, hey, you're June Carter, aren't you? Like, oh, that's me. That's you. Like, oh, what's your name? Like, well, I'm Betsy. I'm coming to the show tonight with my husband. It's like, well, glad to meet both of you. Yeah. Right? And the Lloyd's like, oh, yeah, the fishing tackle. Yeah, it's back there by the footballs. It's like, if you got requests, and she's like, yeah, you got requests. Just holler.
Yeah, if you got any requests, just holler them out.
Right? And then she's like, I listen to your parents. And like, they'd be ashamed about what you've done.
Your parents would be ashamed about you. It's like, what are you talking about? It's like,
divorce is not natural.
Divorce is of the devil. Marriage is for life. And then June's just like, she's still trying to be polite.
Yep.
But she's just like, I'm sorry I disappointed you. And she goes on to the fishing tackle to go find the fishing poles. She finds one. And, this whole time it's kind of been, Johnny's been sort of off in the background in one of the aisles. He's got sunglasses on, and he's just got these 2 books that he's looking at, these 2 children's books.
Yep.
And so June, she picks up the fishing pole, and she's walking back out of the fishing tackle area, and she sees Johnny there. He's like, do you need some help? You've been staring at those two books for 10 minutes.
I can't figure out which one Roseanne would like.
Yeah, she's like, I can't figure out. Roseanne's birthday's coming up, and I can't figure out which one she'd
brown
like.
hair. I think she'd like this one because this one has brown hair. Was like, well, I got Carlene that one. This one, she's very happy with it.
But she's like, this one, she's got brown hair, so I think she'd like this one. But this one has a dog on it, and she likes dogs.
Right? And then he looks up and he sees this dollhouse. Like, oh, yeah.
And she's like, I'm trying to get her something
good. I missed
for
her birthday, and she likes dolls. Maybe I should do something more.
Yeah. I'm like, thinking about, maybe one of these dollhouses, but I don't know. I don't know what to get her. And we never do find out what he gets for her.
We don't.
Because June's like, oh, yeah, I can help you. And then we see them walking out of the store, and
what they do
is they got fishing poles. They've both got fishing poles.
Remember, this harkens back to him and his brother.
Only these are actual fishing poles. They're not just a sapling with a string attached.
Yes, no, these are true fishing poles. They got
a reel and everything.
And both of them are actually going fishing this time.
Yeah.
The other one's not going to get killed in a sawmill accident.
No, that doesn't happen this time around. Spoiler alert. So as they're walking down the sidewalk, Johnny he starts balancing his fishing pole in his hand like he did when he was a kid.
Yes,
because this is the first time that he's been fishing since that day. Since the day he lost his brother.
They go fishing, and he's like, he makes notes like, oh, I've never used one of these reels before. Mm-hmm. It's like, what did he use, a sapling?
And he's like,
right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Okay, so let me teach you how to use one of these reels. So she gets behind him, and she's like, okay, so you hold this button down, and then you sort of swing it this way, and when you're ready for it, when you get to the right spot, you let go of the button, and the line goes out. And so he casts it. It doesn't go very far because it's the first time he's tried casting.
Yeah,
he hasn't gotten it down yet. But yeah, but you could tell that they're just enjoying a day of fishing. They're enjoying each other's company.
So it ends up cutting later, though, to the show that evening. And Johnny gets this idea that June should join them on stage for the song.
Yeah.
And she is reluctant at first. She's like, this is a bad idea.
Bad idea. Because the song that he wants to sing with her is Time's a Wastin', which is a song that she sang with her ex-husband, that she wrote with her ex-husband. And that song is not appropriate to be singing here.
And she's looking like she's not even ready to be on the stage. Like, not even technically, should be on stage. Like, she's wearing slippers. It's like, oh, they don't care if you're just wearing slippers. They want to see you. Mm-hmm. Right? And he's like, and he starts saying June, June.
She's angry backstage. Right? She's getting pretty pissed off.
And then
he's just not letting up.
Kind of personal. It's like, oh, how about you prove Elvis wrong? And he says you can't do nothing that isn't written on your calendar.
Yeah, that isn't written on your schedule.
It's like all these people, they want to see us together right now. And so she finally relents and gets out. It's like, oh, I hope you don't mind that I'm just in my slippers. I thought I was done.
Yeah, so she starts playing this, just switches gears right away.
Yeah, she does.
Just like when she got caught in the guitar strap. And she's improvising. And she's just going on, just pulling on her comedy background, right? She's making a show of it. It's like, oh, as long as you don't mind that I'm in my slippers.
Right? And
Johnny's like, oh, nobody cares what you're wearing. Nobody cares what you have on your feet. Come on out. And so she comes out, and Johnny's like, let's play Time's a Wastin'. And she's like, she kind of pulls back for the mic. She comes up and she's like, we can't sing that song. That's a song that I wrote with my ex-husband. It is not appropriate to be singing right here. And Johnny's insistent. Like, Time's a Wastin'.
You know the song, the lyrics, he starts to sing like, "I got lips,
Yeah,
you got lips."
Well, yeah. He's like,
together.
I got arms first. I got arms, and I got arms. Let's get together and use those arms. Let's go. Time's a wasting. And then I got lips, and I got lips. Let's get together and use those lips. Let's go. Time's a wasting. And meanwhile, June looks out and she sees this woman that she was talking to,
judging her at the shop.
And she's just got this scowl on her face. And
I upbraided you earlier about this.
Mm-hmm. So, she's clearly not happy about any of this that's going on, but she's going along with it because, the show must go on. Right? She grew up in a performing family.
Yes.
And she's very professional on stage. And
she is. Yes. But it finishes and she just runs off after the song's done. Yeah. Runs past Jerry Lee, and Johnny just goes back and to her dressing room and is like, "Oh, open up. And she's like, "Just stay away." It's like, well, it's like, I can't, like, she's like, "Please." And he's like, "It's just a song."
Mm-hmm.
Hey, okay. It's never just
a song.
Like, he said it to June. He said it to Vivian. He's saying it to June now. Like, no, it's never just a song.
Here's some advice to you fellas who are listening that may or may not be, in a argument with your significant other, or, whether you are now or maybe will be in the future, because you will be in the future. It happens. It's never just a song. Don't ever try to use that excuse.
That doesn't mean anything. No.
It always means something. You may not understand what it means, but it means something to her.
Yes. If she's upset about it, it means something, and you should shut up.
Yeah.
And just say, "I'm sorry."
Just say, yes, those are the two words that you need to drill into your brain. I'm sorry. But anyway, so this podcast isn't just about talking about movies. It's also talking about how to be a man.
Especially if you're too excited trampoline guy.
Yes. It's how to have a successful relationship with your significant other.
Always catch her in your trampoline.
And make sure when you throw her up in the trampoline, you are overly excited.
Anyway, it cuts off. Johnny's upset, and like he's in his dressing room himself, and like he's frantically like searching for something.
And he finds what he's looking for. He's looking for his pills. Then he pops the pills, he washes it down with a beer, and he's sitting there, and he's freaking out. And so he gets up, and he walks over to the, he starts just banging his guitar against the wall and just shatters his guitar.
Yeah, he just destroys the thing.
Just destroys the guitar like he's in the Who. And
Who?
Exactly. And then he goes over to the sink, because there's a sink in his room, in his dressing room, and he just grabs it and rips it off the wall and throws it down the floor, which was not in the script.
Right. Well,
Joaquin Phoenix just got into it, and he ripped that sink out of the wall
and
threw it on the floor.
Musical biopic now.
Yeah. Like, it was not in the script that he rips it off. So it was not built to be ripped out of the wall.
If they gave him a few more times, it'd be just like Best in Show
and
last
Joaquin
week. He would have
Phoenix-
sacrificed a goat.
Yes, he would have. Joaquin Phoenix just ripped that sink out of the wall and threw it on the floor, and then went over and collapsed on his bed. And
Yep.
yeah, and like you can hear the water trickling out, you know, just pouring out of the pipes. And
So we cut from that. It's next morning, and June's coming out of the hotel. Right, they were still in West Virginia here. And
yes, I don't think we mentioned that this part was in West Virginia.
Yes, I don't think we have either.
Yeah.
Yep. Wheeling, West Virginia, by the way. Wheeling, West Virginia. And she can hear music going on from like where they're gonna play. And she goes down there. It's like it's still like, you know, late morning, so it's well before the showtime. Well before they even really have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And all the guys there are on stage, and they are drunk.
You got everybody. You got Johnny, you got his band, you got Elvis, you got Jerry Lee, you got Roy. They're all up on the stage, and they're just drinking, and they're laughing, and you know, all of them are drunk. They're high. You know, it just not in any shape to be playing a show in a few hours.
I guess apparently Waylon Jennings is on the stage here too.
Okay.
At least according to the script, I'm looking at this here, right?
Yeah. So Waylon, played by Shooter Jennings, Waylon's son.
They have been drinking all night into the morning, and they are drunk.
They are wasted, and they're so yeah. When June walks in, Johnny's back is turned. He's sitting in a chair. His back is turned to her, to the entrance, and she walks in. He hears her.
Jerry Lee recognizes her. He's like, "Hey, you're the Pied Piper, Johnny." Right.
And then so he turns around to look at June, and he turns a little too fast, and his chair tips back, and he just falls. He falls out of his chair, and so he's like scrambling to get back up. He's like, "Hey, June," and
she looks at the hall. Is like, "I don't think any of you in the bed, but like, you know, we have a show at 2, right?
Yeah, you know, we have a show in just a couple
hours. It's a matinee."
Hours. And like, "Oh, it's okay. We'll be ready for it." And she's like, "No, you guys are not going to be able to perform at 2:00.
And they're like, "Why not?" It's like, because you're all drunk.
You're drunk. And then Johnny says something. I don't remember what he says there, but it crosses the line.
Yep.
And you know, so she starts picking up the empty beer bottles and just throws them at him. Just starts chucking them at all the guys up there on the stage. And you know, they're you know, jumping behind stuff, trying to find shields and whatnot so that she doesn't hit them with bottles. And Johnny's like, "Oh, we surrender."
Yeah, in a way, this is like, she tells Johnny like she's not here to look after him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not.
Yeah, she's like, "I'm done being your babysitter. I'm not here to look after you."
No, he's like, "No, you have someone to do that. You have a wife, don't you?" And he's like, "What if I didn't?"
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like, that's too many ifs. And it's just that's when
that's too many ifs, and that's when she just starts throwing bottles at him.
Yep. And he gets smart about it. It's like, only one.
Yeah.
Only one if.
Yeah, there's only one if in there, and she's like, and she gets pissed off. As she's walking away, she's like, "You ain't walking no line."
And the rest of them, they're like,
yeah, everybody else is just cowering behind tables and stuff. But yeah, as she's walking out, she's like, "Johnny Cash, you ain't walking no line." And that's where we get, you know, coming up after that, because like then he starts joking. He's like, "There's only one if, right?" Right, guys. But no, then we start hearing "Walk the Line" playing. "I Walk the Line."
Yep.
And
we have a whole thing where he's just trying to work out that song.
We start hearing him sing it as a montage goes on. It's another movie with a great montage. I miss montages. Why aren't montages a regular part of movies nowadays?
And there's this whole
series of montage.
people asking him for autographs. He's on, they're showing different things of we're just on stage, right? You're not getting
Mm-hmm.
any of like the actual music, like because while doing this montage, you have him working out the lyrics
Yeah.
to Walk the Line.
Working out the lyrics to I Walk the Line, and then you got it's just it's different
And
shows
then
and different
we see that they have bought a new house. It's now not in Tennessee, it's in California. And I mean, this is a nice house in California. Like the house they had in Memphis was nice house. But now, I mean, this is they've
upgraded.
Moving on up.
But it's still not the last house that he lives in this movie.
No, it's not.
But it's a much nicer house than the one they had in Memphis. And, it's got a nice big room for him to, use as like a studio.
Yeah. And we see that he is now signed off. Now he's not with Sun Records. He's with Columbia Records.
Yeah, it's part of this montage is he's signing with Columbia Records, and they've got that giant check.
Yep.
Right. That they're
and the people he's around now, like again, as we talked about a few weeks ago, North by Northwest. Everyone's dressed in the suit. Like again, like earlier, like Phillips, like he had a nice suit on, like he did well for himself.
Yeah,
but like the Columbia Records guy, they got.
But also,
nice.
Sun Records was like this small little like strip shopping center type of business.
Exactly, and like it made Phillips into like a huge name because he discovered Johnny Cash. He discovered Elvis.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's kind of the cool thing about this movie in some ways is like it's still at that juncture where like you can make a name for yourself from out of nowhere on these small things like this. Like now, like that's be almost impossible. But anyway. Yeah. And you just still see all these voices where like people are like, oh, we love you, Johnny, right? All these crowds are going wild. We see this other newspaper clipping. June has gotten married again, right?
To a stock car driver.
Right? We see the Grand Ole Opry where Johnny Cash is singing there, right? But like he's still like you can tell like he is just getting deeper into alcoholism and addiction to amphetamines.
And we see Johnny sees that newspaper article about June marrying a stock car driver, and he just gets even more drunk, even more high. He just lays into it.
Yep.
And at one point he's in his studio in that other room. He's taking a phone call, and from his agent, from his producer, right? And see him. He's like, "Oh, hold on a second." He puts the phone down and he's digging through the drawer to find his pills. And he pops his pills, picks up the phone again, and it's another tour that they have, right? Coming up, or is it something else that he's talking about?
No, this is like a new tour.
But it's like,
and June's going to join him on the tour. And
well, there's a show that they're going to watch.
That's right. Yes.
So there's a show that they're going to go to watch. He and Viv, his wife,
and I think his dad also. His dad, because he's moved his parents out there.
Yeah, so his parents are going too. And
because there's a scene where when he gets a new house, and his dad's like, "Oh, such and such."
We had also missed a point earlier in their one of their tours when June introduced him to her parents.
That's right,
to Mother Maybelle and Ezra.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I think they're there too.
They are.
Her parents are at this show also, and they're sitting in the audience, and June is behind Johnny. And Johnny goes to introduces Viv to June. And then he keeps on leaning back and talking to June. and being very forward with her, while his wife is sitting right next to him.
With their kids.
With their kids.
Too.
Yeah. With their kids. With their 3 daughters. And with her kids.
Okay. All right. Pause. Hey, gentlemen, if in the future and you're married and you have kids and there's some other paramour that has your attention who also has kids and you're together at the same event, do not do this.
Don't spend more time with this other paramour than you do with your own wife. Don't give more attention to this other paramour than you do your own wife.
Yeah. This is a bad idea.
Yeah.
In case you were wondering, in case you thought maybe this might be a good idea.
It's not.
Now, granted,
it's not.
Future you might be drunk and not realize that at the time.
Also, so drunk future you might remember this as a bad idea.
Exactly. Plan accordingly so drunk future you does not make this same mistake.
Yeah. And what we did not mention was earlier that there were a couple of times throughout the movie up to now that we've seen that piece of June's dress with Johnny, and it was on his
when
desk.
He was at the desk in the new house.
When he was at the desk in the new house, we just mentioned talking to his producer. It's sitting on the desk.
It's there.
And so I mean, there's a couple of times that we didn't discuss in this movie that it shows.
We mentioned it will show up again. We haven't really said it again, but that's a scene where we see it.
Yeah. And so he's just doing more and more to piss his wife off.
Yeah. And we get to after the show, and they're talking, and June goes to talk to his daughters.
Yeah.
And Vivian is not gonna have this.
Johnny wants to introduce her to his daughters.
That's right. That's what it is.
So Johnny goes to introduce her to introduce June to his daughters, and Vivian just looks June right in the eyes and said, "Stay away from my kids."
And Reese Witherspoon's like, "I'm not gonna mess with you."
Yeah. I'm sorry that I offended you. But yeah, June's just trying to be nice and polite with the kids, and you're like, "Oh, it's nice to meet. It's so nice to meet you. I love how you're all dressed the same. I love that little yellow ribbon." And Viv is just like, "Stay away from my daughters." Like the claws have come out.
Yeah.
And so June backs off, and she kind of leaves. Johnny tries to say something but doesn't get anything out, and June just leaves. And then Johnny tries to reason with Viv.
Yep.
And Viv's not having it.
And so we kind of cut in from there, and they're going to start this tour where it's like Johnny and June performing together.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be it's like a casino, I think, like a set.
Yeah, because they're performing in Vegas
casino. It's not even a tour. It's like they're set to play at this casino in Vegas for so many weeks, right? It's like a nightly or weekly show, whatever it is, right?
Because I mean, part of it was so June got upset with Johnny for just his behavior and getting high and drunk and all that all the time, and she didn't want anything to do with him, and he went to her house. And
that's right.
He convinced her. He's like, "Hey, I have there's this show coming up that, I want you to be a part of. It'll be 1 week out of the month."
That's right. It's one
week out of the month. That's all you'll be away from your kids. 1 week out of the month. And I'll pay you. And I'll pay you. So I will pay you for that week. And if one of your daughters gets sick, you stay home, you don't perform, I pay you anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
And yeah, so she agrees to be part of that. And so it's a show in Vegas.
Yep. And
Johnny
I
Cash
like how
show.
During this week in Vegas, so like there's this sheriff's convention, right? And right, and they're all on the elevator, right?
Yeah.
And Luther's there's like, "Hey, officer, how did you get your shirts stiff like that?" This guy's like, it's just starch." Luther's like, "Oh, nice."
Meanwhile, Johnny is like real awkward in the elevator with all these sheriff deputies, and he's like, "Cause he's holding."
And they get out. Johnny's to get off the elevator, right? And Luther's like, "Hey, you want some of these beers? Want a couple?" And Johnny's like, "Yeah." He gives him the beers, and offers one to June. She's like, "No." The doors close, and they get off, and he walks her to her room.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't want one? And she's like, "No, thank you."
And then
she opens the door.
They both give
and he says,
temptation.
"June," and then he leans in for that kiss, like in the motel, but because
this time she
not a motel, it's a hotel.
It's a hotel,
in Vegas.
So it's a much nicer room than the motel was.
She gets caught in his guitar strap.
There's a nice big comfy bed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
when we say get caught in the guitar strap this time, we don't mean an actual guitar strap.
No, we mean his penis. So they decide to have a tea party to reach emotional catharsis after getting caught in his guitar strap. How many euphemisms are we going to come up with on this podcast?
Hey, he gave her all the gold coated candies for all her sweet spots.
Yes.
There's a train and a tunnel.
You heard that train coming. It's rolling around the bend. And he ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. But he was not in Folsom Prison.
No. So anyway, so after this tea party, it's the morning, and he's giving her his nuts. Not his nuts. Yeah,
his peanuts. He's got a bowl of peanuts next to the bed.
It's a hotel room.
Yeah. So he's eating nuts.
He took peanuts. He took off the weight mounted peanuts and gave them to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, he's eating peanuts.
He attempts to give them to her, but then he eats them himself.
Well, yeah, she's like, "Hey, can I have one of those?" And so he reaches over to her. She opens her mouth, and he takes it and eats it real quick, and laughs. She's like, "Hey, that was mean." And he's like, "Okay, let's do it." And he does it, leans in, about to put it in her mouth. Then he puts it in his own mouth and laughs. He's like, "That's just mean. Don't do that. You're just nasty. You're mean." And he's like, "Oh no, this is okay. I'll do it. I'm sorry. I'll do it." And he's like, "Here you go." And he goes and does it again. And then she playfully slaps him and and all that, and they're laughing and they're about to kiss again. The phone rings.
There's a phone call,
and June answers it, and
it's one of her daughters.
Yeah. And so
it's like, "Oh no, of course you can make pancakes."
Yeah. So meanwhile, Johnny gets up and he's getting dressed, and while she's talking to her daughter, then he leaves. Now, keep in mind, she may be divorced at this point, but he's not.
No, he's not.
So, yeah. They never really say specifically how many times he cheated on his wife while he was on tour.
They don't say.
I mean, it seems like it's just this one time with June, specifically with her.
I mean,
but other people, he clearly seemed to be cheating on his wife with the girl, with the first girl at the concert in the front row.
Random strangers.
And then these two girls that he, fell on the street with. And yeah.
Yep.
But
so you could see why
she might be upset with him.
She might be upset. And then when the movie came out, it was particularly hard for Rose and Cash to watch this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you could understand why.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're seeing these difficult moments between her parents, and then also just this kind of spiral her dad was in.
Yeah. And then also these interactions between her dad and this woman that would become her stepmom.
Yes.
While all this was going on with her parents.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's completely understandable how she would have reacted to this movie.
Yes. So, we think this movie is very good. We like it. But I could see why she would think, I would not watch that movie again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Completely understandable.
Yes, absolutely. Completely understandable.
So, but yeah, he tries calling home. He gets no answer, right? And then he tries getting a hold of June again. She's not talking with him either, right? And so we cut into the evening, and June's the only person on stage right now because Johnny hasn't made it yet.
But it's the Johnny Cash show, so
that's right.
They're just trying to keep the audience entertained while they're waiting for Johnny to get there.
His band's on stage.
His band's on stage. They're playing.
They're ready.
They're playing. They're just waiting for him. They're strumming their guitar and their bass and, hitting the drums. And June's out there. She's like, it'll be just another minute. Johnny's on his way.
And he finally gets there, and he's stumbling on the stage. And he does his usual intro. Hello, I'm Johnny Cash.
Yeah, he's like, hello, I'm Johnny Cash. And then he starts playing.
Singing the song. Starts playing. And he's just slurring everything. And he's stumbling around.
He kicks one of the lights on the stage and then just collapses.
Yep, he just collapses on stage. They close the curtain. As he's passing out, he talks about keeping his feathers numbered.
Yeah. Yeah. He goes into his Foghorn Leghorn impression. He's like, way back to what we talked about.
Fortunately,
I keep my feathers numbered just for this kind of emergency. And he kind of laughs. He kind of chuckles to himself with that.
So he wakes back up. He's in his room. He's at his bed. He's told, we're canceling the tour. Okay, got a ticket for you to go home, John.
Yeah. Plane ticket for tomorrow.
And it's like, here it is.
Yeah, Marshall brings it into him.
And then June shows up there. She's like, oh, wow, you're hot. Like, you're burning up. And of course, he's like, I've got hotter places than my forehead.
He's like, hotter places than my forehead.
And she's like, she's ready to leave at that line, obviously, for obvious reasons. He's like, tell me you don't love me. He's like, I don't love you. Like, liar.
Yeah, he's like, you're a liar. And she just sort of storms off.
Right. And then he before he does it, like, it's like he's trying to get his pills. Like, oh, he's like, oh, I flushed them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's like, yeah. He's like, where's my pills? She's like, I flushed them. He's like, I need those. Those are just prescriptions. I got them from my doctor.
It's like, I need those. If you were a man, I'd kill you. And then she's like, you'd miss me right now. Because like, yeah, he has no control, right?
So then we get back to his house.
Yep.
And he's in his studio. And he's hanging up pictures from his tour.
Well, no, is that before or after his arrest?
You're right. Yeah. He's at the airport.
Yeah,
that's right. He's at the airport, and he gets arrested by the airport police.
He's coming down the bottom of an escalator, and there's just officers there.
Yeah, and they take him into the back
and
room.
like we get like, hey, can you come with us?
He's got his guitar with him, and they take him to the room and they sit him down and they're like,
it's like, you want to remove the strings?
Yeah,
you
want
us
to
to break
you don't want us to break it. And he just loosens up the strings, reaches in, pulls out these big old bags of pills.
Multiple bags.
Big old bags of pills that he's got stuffed in his guitar. And yeah, this is sort of another little mini montage.
Yep.
Just him spiraling.
Mm-hmm.
And
yep. And people are taking pictures because he's going to jail, right? And we finally get back to the house, and like he's home, and he's like, it's like Vivian's like, yeah, I kept them out of school. And it's like, well, they know about this. Like, yeah, no, they know.
Everybody knows about this.
It's all over the papers. Like your mama was here, and your dada was here.
Yeah, there's no way they aren't going to find out about this.
He wants to specifically know, what did his dad say?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, he said, now you won't have to work hard to make people think you've been to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So, he goes down, he goes into Roseanne's room because, she's the oldest. She's still awake. Right? He's like, oh, hey, Daddy, how are you? It's like, hey, darling, I'm good. I'll see you in the morning. But still talking, he's just like, oh, yeah, those pills are legal. It's like, I didn't have a prescription. Right? And Vivian's like, you're gonna, like, John, like, they just keep arguing about it. And Vivian tells him, finally go to bed, and he's falling asleep. And it says, I love you, June. He's falling asleep. So that's when we get to, the next scene that we have is where he's hanging up the pictures.
Yeah, so he's hanging up pictures
June
of the
in
band.
His office.
So he's hanging up the pictures of his band from the tour. June just happens to be in those pictures.
It's like,
and then the next picture he's about to hang up.
Picture.
Yes, the next picture he's about to hang up is only June in that picture.
Yes.
And Viv is standing there. She's watching him hang these pictures up. She's, don't hang those pictures up. And, he's not listening. He's just hammering the nails on the wall. And he's hanging
like, you look at the kids. It's like, oh, they can't hear me. And she's like, give me the hammer.
He hammers the nail in the wall.
She grabs the hammer and she's like, give me the hammer.
And then he picks up that picture of June and he's going to hang it up. She's like, do not hang that picture up. And she grabs it and she takes it from him and she runs out of the room. And he's chasing after her. He's like, Viv, come on. It's just a picture.
Does it? Okay.
It's not just a picture. It's never just a picture.
In case that wasn't clear earlier.
It's never just a picture. So she runs into the main house and like she's in the kitchen. And he's coming in, he's like, give me back the picture. And she just smashes it on the counter.
Yes.
On the corner of the countertop. You're on the edge of the countertop. And, it just shatters. The frame just shatters all over the floor. And then then she drops it and she's like walking out a little bit farther into the kitchen, and he comes after her, right? He's trying to, explain himself. Don't ever try to explain yourself in this kind of situation, folks.
No, because this ends up becomes a struggle.
Yeah, but yeah,
and
they end up sort of struggling
together
on the floor, and he's on top of her, sort of holding her down, and then looks over, and their 3 daughters are standing in the doorway, bawling their eyes out.
Bawling their eyes out, obviously.
Mm-hmm. And he realizes what they're seeing. And
what this looks like.
So he, gets up and he's trying to apologize, and Viv gets up, takes the kids.
Not the time to apologize.
No. But he tries
time to step
he doesn't
away.
just try to apologize, but he doesn't just try to apologize, but he tries to explain what's going on.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
From his perspective.
Okay. If you're trying to apologize, never explain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Also,
you're just going to dig yourself deeper.
Apologize, just apologize. Hey, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But even in this situation, it's not the time to apologize. It's time to, you know what? Exit the situation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Viv gets up. Once Johnny gets off of her, then Viv gets up. She gets the girls, and they go get in the car. She's like, we're done. I'm taking the girls. We're leaving. And he goes chasing her out of the house, and, she drives off. He's chasing the car on foot. And we get a shot from inside the car looking out the back window, and we just hear the girls crying in the back seat.
Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
Then we cut to Johnny is passed out on a bed.
Yep.
And we see Waylon Jennings sitting out in a chair.
Yep, we cut forward. It's a few years later. He's passed on the bed. We're now out of California. We're back in Nashville with Waylon Jennings.
Yeah, so he's crashing at Waylon's place. Or he's got, he and Waylon have an apartment together. So they never really explain that, if he's just crashing at Waylon's place or if they have an apartment. But
it's hard to say because we'll get a scene when we find out the phone bill gets cut off.
Yeah, that's later in this scene. But Waylon, played brilliantly by Shooter Jennings, Waylon's son, which we've mentioned before on this episode. But he's sitting in a chair. The front door is open. He's just sort of sitting out in the doorway, and he's got his guitar, and he's just playing a song, and he's singing.
Mm-hmm.
And Johnny wakes up, and he goes over to the phone, and he's going to try to call June. And first off, Waylon tells him that he's been asleep for 30 hours.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And so, he picks up the phone because he's going to try to call June, but the phone's not working.
It's like, oh yeah, they cut it off.
And William's like, they cut it off yesterday. He's like, but I gave you money for the phone bill. It's like, that was last month. They cut it off because we didn't pay this month. And so he's like, all right, well, can I get a ride? My car's still in the shop. I need to go see June. And, Waylon can't give him a ride. So he takes a check to the bank.
Yep.
And he's trying to get this check cashed.
And it's this check he's had for a while.
Mm-hmm. And the clerk at the bank, the teller, she's very politely, she's calmly,
like, I can't do that, sir.
I can't cash this check. See, the bank puts a temporary hold.
Such a large amount, they put a permanent hold on.
They put a temporary hold on checks this large.
Yeah.
And so I can't just give you the cash for it right now.
And he's like, well, what if it was for like $500? Like, could you cash it then? He's like, well, yeah. It's like, well, just pretend it's for $500.
Pretend it's for $500. I need this money. I can't
do that, sir.
He's like, I need this money so I can get my phone turned back on. Because, there's this girl. I'm in love with this girl. I need to call her.
I need to talk to her.
I need to talk to her. I need this money so I can get my car fixed. I can get my car out of the shop.
I gotta get out of the
so I
shop.
can drive to her.
And he's like,
and she's like, I'm sorry, sir. I can't cash this check.
And like, she lives out on the other side of town. I need that car to get there. It's like, I was like, Mr. Cash, I'm sorry.
She's like,
oh,
it's just,
you know who I am? It's like, yes.
Yes, I know who you are.
Just cash my check.
And meanwhile, he's acting like a junkie.
Yeah. He's like, I worked for this. He's like, I get that.
He's like, but the bank, they put a temporary hold on checks this big. And
it's like, yeah, I can't do that. That's the rule. Right? It's like, all right, well, if you can't cash it, it's nothing.
And he rips it up.
Tear it up.
He just starts tearing it up. She's like, oh, sir, don't do that.
Please don't do that.
It's like, if you can't cash it, it's just paper, right?
Nothing.
It's just paper.
And so we cut, and somehow he has made it all the way out to June's place at the edge of town.
Mm-hmm.
And her daughter's like, oh, Mommy, Johnny's here.
Johnny Cash is here.
And she tells them to wait in the house. She comes outside. They start having a conversation.
Well, first Mother Maybelle answers the door.
Right. Mother Maybelle.
And, she's like, hey, Johnny. And he's like, can I talk to June? I need to talk to June. And Maybelle, she's being a good mother. She's trying to shield her daughter from, this guy that is not in the right mind.
Mm-hmm.
But June comes up.
He's haggard, and she's like, have you looked at yourself? Like, we're going back on tour in a month. Like, you can't look like this.
June comes up. And she tells her mom, it's okay, I'll talk to him. And she's like, have you seen yourself? We're going on a tour in a month, and you need to clean yourself up. And how did you get here? And he's like,
and she's like, marry me.
It's like, no, I'm not going to marry you.
It's like, I'm looking for my friend. Like, I don't know where he is. I don't know if he's high. He went into hiding. Like this isn't him.
This isn't him. This isn't my friend Johnny.
It's like, but I'm right here. It's like, and again, she's like, how? She keeps saying, like, how did he get here?
So, I walked. It's like, you walked here? It's like, yeah, hey, walking's good for you.
I'm getting in shape. It's like, he cleans the system.
And so,
and it's probably like, don't blow this tour. Like, I'm just supporting myself. I'm supporting kids here.
So I have kids. I'm supporting, don't blow this. And so, he walks off. He starts walking home. It starts raining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's walking through the woods and, kind of going down a hill, and he trips and he falls and he just passes out on the ground. And he wakes up the next morning. And when he wakes up, he looks up, and there's this big house in the woods.
And there's some construction people working on the house.
Beautiful house.
Yeah, beautiful.
And there's a for sale sign. And so he walks up there to the guys working on the house. He's like, hey, this is a beautiful house. And then we cut to the for sale sign is taken down. And Johnny is moving boxes into this house.
I want to know how he was able to buy this house, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, there's a little piece of information there where it's kind of gets lost.
Because it's like, it seems like he's
to collect
broke
the money back
because he can't get his phone turned on. And
he just tore up a check that probably would have been at least something he could have put some payment on. So, okay, I'm not going. Anyway, but he buys this house.
He bought this house. And, he's moving into it. And, it's just him now because, he's divorced from Vivian and she's got the kids. And so he invites his parents over, and June and her parents.
For Thanksgiving.
And so they get there, and he's showing his parents around, right? He's showing them all around, and his dad sees his tractor that's out by the lake. Because this house is right on the lake shore, right? It's a beautiful property.
Mm-hmm.
And Johnny kind of laughs. He's like, yeah, that tractor, I was trying to pull a stump out of the ground, and it got stuck in the mud. And he's like, so you just left it there? His dad's like, you just left the tractor there? It's like, yeah. It's like, so Dad kind of brushes it off a little bit, right? Doesn't say anything more about it yet. And they go and they sit down at the table. And when they're getting ready to eat dinner, getting ready to eat Thanksgiving dinner, Johnny kind of goes off in the other room. And his dad looks over and he sees him pull some pills out of a cabinet and, throw them, just toss them back. And then, his dad, turns his attention back toward the group at the table.
Mm-hmm.
And so Johnny goes over and sits down. They start, they start having their dinner time conversation, right?
This is where the line comes in, right? So yeah, it's dinner time conversation, and finally it's like, he's like, well, Daddy, what do you think about the house? No, and Ezra's like, oh, it's a fine house, it's a big house. And that's when
Ray chimes in.
Jack Benny's is bigger.
Uh-huh.
And Ezra's like, you been to Jack Benny's? Saw it on TV.
It's like, but what I don't understand is you're throwing all this money around. You got this expensive tractor outside that's just stuck in the mud.
Sitting in the rain.
Just sitting in the rain, just rotting.
And Mother Maybell tries to change the conversation. She's like, you'd be surprised how many musicians can't read shape notes. It's like my husband's uncle taught me.
But Ray just keeps going on about how disappointed he is in his son and Johnny.
Yep. And she's like trying to change stuff. She's like, hey Johnny, like, do you know how to read shape notes? And Johnny's just staring at Ray.
Mm-hmm.
And Jude's like, Johnny, like, Mama asked us something. He's just still staring at his dad. And finally, like, Daddy, I'm glad he came tonight. I appreciate that. Right? You can tell Ray realizes, like, it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Like, something's going to be said.
Yeah.
It's like, and Johnny's like, but not everybody's here, right?
Jack's not here. And this is
where
when
you
it gets
been?
real.
Oh, that's what you said to me. Where you been?
Yeah, where you been? That's what you said.
I'm 12 years old, and Jack's dying.
And
all
you say,
to me,
where have you been?
And Ray's like, hey, I stopped drinking.
Yeah, his bloody shirt in your hand, and you said, where have you been?
I was like, I stopped drinking. What about you? You still taking pills? Right?
And meanwhile, everybody else is at the table. It's like, this is awkward.
I'm just gonna eat my turkey.
They're all just like sitting there, they're like, trying not to make eye contact with anybody. Like, this is awkward.
Ray just kind of looks back. So, you're sitting there on your high horse there, boy. I didn't have talent. I did the best I could with what I had.
What have you done?
Mr. Big Shot. You're a pill-popping rock star. And you're judging me? You got an empty house, children you don't see, and a tractor stuck in the mud. Johnny, he's like, and he goes back to what Jackson. It's like, do you hear the angels, Daddy? Do you hear Jack's angels? Ray just stares at him. Jack's like, I didn't hear him. Johnny's like, I didn't hear him. And Maybell's just like, do you think, John, that sometimes Jesus picks us up and forgives us and sets us back on the right path?
Oh, Mother Maybell.
And then everyone starts to leave.
I was trying to be positive.
Right? Ray's leaving.
Yeah, so they get up to leave, and
it looks like
while
Maybell,
everybody's walking out of their cars, Johnny goes to that tractor.
Leave, but then Johnny goes over to that tractor and he's trying to get it out.
Revs it up. He's trying to pull it out of there up that hill.
And June's trying to tell her parents, I'll drive. And Ezra's like, what's he doing?
And he's trying to get that tractor out of the mud, trying to get it up that hill.
And Mother Maybelle and Ezra's like, you better be careful. You're gonna end up in that lake. And June's like, oh no, he's never had much common sense. Let's just leave.
And then sure enough,
and her mother Maybelle was like, no, you need to go down to him.
Yeah, and sure enough, Johnny breaks that tractor loose, and then it backs up right into the lake.
And Mother Maybelle was like, he needs you. You go to him. And I was like, she's like, I don't need to be mixed up in this. Like, and Ezra's like, June, no, like, you already are. Go.
Which, this speaks volumes about the Carters.
Yes. And this gets back to where we get to the heart that Reese Witherspoon puts into it. So she's put so much spunk.
Yes.
And just, the stage presence of what she does. But here is what really she seals the deal on this performance, is in this very last act of the movie.
Yeah.
She goes to him. Cares for him.
The tractor is halfway underwater. And she goes down into the water to get him out. And then we cut to he's in his bed. In the house. June.
And now it's more than just about getting rid of his pills. It's about
getting him clean.
Fully caring for him.
And so June has gotten rid of all the pills. She's staying with him at the house. So are her parents. He's in bed. He's freaking out because he's going through withdrawal.
Yep.
And I love this part. Like, so, we have a little montage of him, going through withdrawal, going into like this forced rehab.
Yep. And they're at his house still there. The big
and they're at his house. And
one of his dealer comes up with a bag.
His dealer comes in with a bag. And Ezra meets him with a shotgun.
Get your ass out of here.
Get your ass out of here. Go back to where you came from.
The guy just backs off and leaves.
But I love this.
Mother Maybelle yells up, get your poison out of here.
Get your poison out of here. I love this. So it, like I said, this speaks volumes about the Carters. They were all in this on helping Johnny, getting him clean again. They were, the whole family was in. It wasn't just June. Her parents were there too.
Yep.
They saw the good in Johnny. They saw, what he really was. They saw past, his vices, and, they did everything they could to help him.
They saw the good. So he kind of pushes through all the withdrawal.
Yeah, but again, and back to Reese Witherspoon in this, this section of the movie, she is phenomenal.
She is, I agree.
I mean, she's great throughout the movie, but this part in particular,
it's really what seals it.
This part in particular, you can tell she's really bringing it out. That
absolutely,
she's showing how much this character cares. She's fantastic in this movie.
It finally, he finally gets to the withdrawal, and he's still kind of in bed with June, and he's just not my angel,
not in bed with June, but
not in that sense. Not in that sense. He's a dead.
She's not caught in his guitar strap,
recovering from his withdrawal.
Yeah. She's not caught in his guitar strap.
He is laying down on the bed.
He's laying in the bed.
She is sitting on the bed.
Sitting on the bed, yes.
chastely.
No hanky panky has happened that we know of.
And no, yeah, he calls her an angel. He's like, I'm no angel, right? And, he's just sobbing. He's like, I've done bad things. It's like, yeah, a few. And he's like, I think I killed my brother. Like, no. He's like, but I left him. I split and left him there to die. He's like, no, you're a kid. You're a boy. And he just thinks like, I wish I would have died instead of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? And she just takes his hand. He has his cry. Right? And then we get this cut. And now we have the Carters taking Johnny
to church.
Right? And they're singing a song there.
Taking him to church, and they're singing, and
there's a preacher.
They're standing at the pews, and June takes Johnny's hand. And then the guy on the other side of Johnny takes his other hand.
Yep.
Right. And they're just singing these hymns.
So, the service ends. Now we cut back to Columbia Records. It's 1967.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And, we got all the nice, well-dressed men.
Well, we cut to, before we get back to Columbia Records, we cut to a bunch of fan mail that Johnny got.
Oh, that's right. Yes. And these are like prisoners.
Yes, these are
him for
fan mail from prisoners thanking him for his music from prisons and jailhouses all over the country.
Yeah, and he's pouring through them.
But there are more of them from Folsom than that are shown than
he's moved on from
others.
13-year-old girls sending him pictures of in their bathing suits to
prisoners, sending him letters about how much his music means to them and how it's helping them get through their time and all that. And so he goes to Columbia Records, and he decides he wants to do a live show. He wants to record a live album at Folsom Prison.
Yeah, so he's at Columbia Records, right? And they're talking about where can we get him to play? And the manager's like, well, he's banned from all those. He's banned from
all these venues,
the Opry, because he broke the footlights and all these things, And then some guy's like, oh, he breaks the lights at Folsom. They'll keep him there.
Yeah, he breaks the lights at Folsom. They'll keep him there.
And finally, this guy's like, well,
it's like, I'm all for you recording a live album.
He's been recuperating from his addiction, right? The world's changed.
Yeah, the world's changed.
Dylan's electric.
Yeah, Dylan's electric now.
Everyone's electric. I want to give him a fresh sound, but he says he wants to cut a live album in a prison. And Johnny's like, hey, I'm here. Talk to me. And meanwhile, his core fans are clean people. They're Christians.
Meanwhile, Johnny's wearing all black.
You're right. He's like, they don't want to see him singing in front of prisoners and rapists and murderers, trying to cheer him up. And I love how Johnny's like, well, if they don't think I should be singing the prisoners, and they're not Christian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love that. But yeah, so then his producer, he's like, I have no problem. I'm all for you recording a live album,
but not at a prison. And he's finally like, no, it's January 13th. I'll be at Folsom Prison. With June and the boys. Listen to tapes. If you don't like it, toss it. You don't have to sell it. I'm going to be there regardless.
And then his producer's like, and what's with all the black? You look like you're going to a funeral. And he's just like, maybe I am.
Right. And now we cut.
We cut to the saw.
Yep.
From the beginning of the movie. We see Johnny's thumb at the saw. And then, his producer's there with the warden. They're ready for you. And the warden's like, just try not to sing any songs that remind these guys that they're in prison. He's like, do you really think they need reminding?
And he's got this glass
of water. It's yellow water. It's nasty looking water.
He's like, he looks at the warden like, do you drink this?
And the warden's like, no, I'm a Coca-Cola man. He's like, okay. So he goes out there and he's still carrying this glass of water.
Yep. And he has it there. And he
goes out on stage.
And they're excited to see him now.
And he's like, thanks for coming here, folks. And I was just talking to the warden, and he wants to make sure that first he's like, just keep in mind this is a live recording, so we can't say hell or shit or anything like that. But I was just talking to your warden, and he's telling me that not to sing any songs that they're too much about prison and all this. And hell, you guys have I don't know how you get through, because I've never drank water this nasty, this yellow and just nasty. And he holds up that glass of water and then just throws it down on the ground. Just throws it down on the stage and shatters the glass. And
it's like, you might have heard that, I did a little bit of time once myself, right? And they cheer at him, and it cuts into him as they start the cut live at Folsom Prison.
And then he goes into cocaine blues, starts singing cocaine blues. And it's I have the Live at Folsom Prison album. It's great. It's a
classic album.
I love that album. But anyway, but yeah, so it sort of, he performs Cocaine Blues, and then then that's the end of what they show of that concert.
But we cut to like the next year, and he's doing a tour again with June. And they're at a theater.
Well, first they're in the tour bus.
That's right.
They're in the tour bus, and Johnny's sitting up front, and it's late at night. It's late. It's like 2 in the morning. It's like 2 in the morning, and he gets up and looks back at Marshall, who's sitting right behind him, and Marshall's like, in the back. He knows what he's doing.
Yep.
And so Johnny goes back, and June is back there trying to sleep. And, he asks her to marry him again.
He's like, no.
She's like, no. No. And, he's adamant about it.
He is.
And she's like, no, I'm not going to marry you. And before the show at Folsom, before they take him out on stage, June is in there too. And
yes, that's right.
The warden's like, says something about, your wife over there, real nice or something like that. And he's like, she's not my wife. I keep asking her, but she keeps saying no. But yeah, so, he's adamant about, asking her to marry him, and she's adamant about saying no, right? And she, goes on about why she can't marry him, why he needs to stop asking, and, all this. We mentioned earlier that she had married a stock car driver.
Yes.
We didn't mention at the time that by the time that they saw each other at that show, when he tried to introduce her to his daughters, we found out that she had divorced the stock car driver.
Yeah, or anyway, she was like, it was on the rocks, and they're going to get divorced. But anyway, yeah.
So that I just bring that up to just say that they're both single right now.
Available.
They're both single at this point. So anyway, so they get to the show, and Johnny's on stage, and he calls June over to sing with him. Oh, and another thing we did not mention was after the whole, June getting upset with them being drunk and high on stage and canceling the show and all that.
Oh yeah.
Then part of that whole montage was June writing Ring of Fire.
Yes.
She was sitting in her house with her auto harp, and she was writing Ring of Fire. And so Johnny's out. He's playing Ring of Fire.
Mm-hmm.
And once he's done with that, he's like, "Do you all know who wrote that song? June Carter wrote it. Right over here." He calls June out. And she comes over the stage. And, everybody's cheering. And he's like, "What do you say we sing a song? Let's sing Jackson." And so they start singing Jackson. And they get a few lines into it. And then he just stops.
And stops like, I can't sing this song. Like,
there's something I got to do before I finish this song. And he asks her to marry him right there on stage.
Yep. And she tries to refuse.
She tries to refuse, but he's like, "No, let's just sing the song. Let's just," she's trying to be professional about it. She's trying to keep the show going. Yep. And
that's right.
He's like, no, I can't.
Like, I
cannot in my right mind finish this song.
Not until
until I get an answer here. I love you. You are, he's just going on and on about, we
are like peas and carrots.
Yeah, we's like peas and carrots. Peas and carrots. But no, so he's just going on about how much he loves her and how much she has done for him, how his life is better because of her. And so he asks her one more time, "Will you marry me?" And she says yes.
She finally says yes.
This actually happened.
This did happen.
She
would seem like
his proposal. Yes, this would seem like an embellishment.
But this actually happened.
But Johnny Cash proposed to June Carter on stage in front of a crowd, and she said yes. They were married a week later.
Yep. But how, you see them, like he kind of picks her up. Like this is kind of like the poster kind of captures this moment where he picks her up, and then it ends there with as the movie.
No, that's not the movie end. No.
Does it?
It goes back to the house.
Does it? Okay,
yes.
Go on. Maybe I misremembered.
Yeah, so they go back to Johnny's house, the big house by the lake.
Right.
And their families are there again. They're having another family get together.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you're right. Thank you.
And so Johnny is, walking around talking to his dad. They're sort of walking on the deck. His daughters are there.
Yep.
Johnny's daughters are there.
Yeah.
And Johnny's trying to mend fences.
Yes,
with his dad.
He is. That's right.
And his dad is being receptive.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And, one of Johnny's daughters runs up to Ray and hands him a tin can.
Oh, that's right. Yes, like a tin can phone.
Yeah. Right. She's like, "Hey, talking to this, and we'll hear you on the other side. It'll run down the string, and we'll hear you." And so he takes it. And he starts talking into it, but she's standing right in front of him. It's like, "Hey, can you hear me?" And Johnny's like, "You got to pull it tight. You got to pull the string tight." And then, Johnny's daughter runs down the stairs, and Ray's like, "Come on, Jerry, you do this. You're better with this kind of stuff than me." And Johnny's like, "They want to talk to their grandpa. Now remember, pull the string tight." And so, he pulls the string tight and he's like trying to talk to them. And as Johnny's walking down the stairs, he passes by his daughters, and then it goes into sort of a freeze frame, which then goes into the credits.
Which is Walk the Line.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's a nice little moment because, it's funny. One of my kind of memories I thought I had about the movie was like his dad just being a total dick, an asshole,
the whole time.
That died early, and they never had this little reconciliation.
No, but they had this little reconciliation. And then
it's a nice kind of way to end it.
Yeah, so it goes into a freeze frame, and before the credits roll, then you get a little text that comes up saying that June passed away in May of 2003. Johnny followed 4 months later.
4 months later. And again, this movie came out in the fall 2005.
And what I find is very interesting is, so June died in May of 2003. Johnny died in September of 2003. Right?
Right.
That year, Roseanne Cash, Johnny's daughter, his oldest.
Yes.
She, for so long, wanted to record a song with her father.
Yes.
But they never got the chance to record together until 2003. They recorded the song September When It Comes.
Mm-hmm.
The following September is when he died.
That's right.
So, yeah, I found that interesting.
I would agree.
And I mean, I've heard their recording of that song, and it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But
of note with this too, so Vivian Cash, or not, Vivian Liberto, passed away not long before this movie came out as well, in 2005.
Okay.
So,
But anyway, that is Walk the Line.
John Carter Cash was also his son.
Yes, his son with June
was a big part of the production of this movie. Also, we should
we should mention that.
That was Walk the Line. So,
yeah, the main sources of information for this movie came from the book The Man in Black and the Johnny Cash, the autobiography by Johnny Cash.
Right. Anyway, that's Walk the Line. A really well done movie, and Reese Witherspoon did a great job in it, and deservedly won an Oscar.
Yes, so, Reese Witherspoon was phenomenal in this movie, and
I would recommend this movie just because it is a very good movie. But if you're interested in very good acting roles and movies that won Oscars for their acting, it is worth it on that end as well, because
absolutely
but I would recommend this to anybody.
Yeah, me too. It's, I mean, I've said it before, it's my favorite biopic.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen it, and I really enjoyed watching it. It was very much like watching it for the first time.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, it's been almost 20 years since I've seen this all the way through, and watching it, I don't know why I waited so long to watch it again. Because
I would agree. Yes, it's very good.
It is such a good movie. But anyway, yeah. I think that's all I have to say.
I think that's all we have.
So, if you enjoy what you're hearing, check us out on our social media. We are on Facebook and Instagram and Threads. Is Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. The and is spelled out A&D. It's 99% like the name of the podcast. We're also on X or Twitter. It is R&T Cinematic. And you can also check us out on Letterboxd. You can read some of our reviews that we've done on various movies. Some we've done on the podcast, some we haven't done, some we will do, some we won't do. But that is Cine Adventure, or Cine Adventure, CINE Adventure. And then you can also send us an email at robandtonycinematicadventure@gmail.com. Once again, the and is spelled out. And-D is on an ampersand like the name of the podcast. But yeah, let us know, what did you think of Walk the Line? Do you love Johnny Cash as much as we do? You know, did you think that somebody else may have deserved that Oscar more than Reese Witherspoon? Which, if you did, you're wrong. She totally deserved the Oscar win for this.
Yeah,
And yeah. Anyway, let us know. We want to hear from you. You know, go to our social media, give us a like and a follow. Go to your favorite podcast app, wherever you're listening to us. Hit that subscribe button. Give us a good rating, a good review. You know, comment on our stuff. That's how we move up in the standings and the recommendations and the search, all that stuff. So that we can reach more ears, so that we can find more people that want to hear us talk about these movies. But anyway, next up, we are going to continue our Oscar series leading up to the Oscars.
Yes, I'm looking forward to this next one.
I am too. And we just finished talking about about a Best Actress in a Leading Role winner. So next, we are going to be talking about Best Actor in a Supporting Role.
Supporting, yes.
So Best Supporting Actor coming up next. And the one we are going to talk about, we're going to talk about Jack Palance. For his win. Me too. For his win in City Slickers. He won Best Supporting Actor for City Slickers. So we are going to be talking about City Slickers and Jack Palance and one-arm push-ups at the Oscars.
That's right. That was at the Oscars, not in the movie, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
We will talk about it.
But anyway, I grew up loving this movie.
Should I?
And
I am eagerly awaiting to be able, because it's been a while since I've seen this as well. So it'll be fun to revisit this.
I caught it on TV probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 months ago.
Okay.
Maybe a little earlier than that. I mean, yeah, it might have been earlier than that. I don't know. Within the last year.
Gotcha.
You know, I caught it on TV, and then part of City Slickers 2 also. But
well, it'll be fun to revisit
now
because it's been a while.
Yeah, it'll definitely be fun. I'm looking forward to talking about this one with you. But yeah, so join us next time for City Slickers.